Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Forward Watch. Sorry we're 15 minutes late, just waiting for people about sofas and stuff like that. But yeah, we've got myself, Prime, got Indiana, Charlotte, Samuel, and our special guest, Liverpool fan, Ryan. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me on the show today, man. And I love watching your shows as well. That Q&A you did on what was it, Monday? Had me in stitches, man. So I'm happy you brought me on the show, man.
No problem.
Which Q&A? Oh, the Q&A, the late night, the extra.
Was
time.
it on Monday?
Yeah,
it
might have been. Yeah,
that was hilarious.
Yeah, on that as well from last week, I want to retract a fraud and issue an apology to someone. Neil Razor-Roddick, I want to issue my apology. I didn't mean the things I said to you. You were actually a great player. I won't question your intelligence of football, and I hope to see you soon, Mr. Roddick. So I hope everyone's good between us.
Samuel, once you put someone on Fraud Watch, that's it. Listen, people, please smash the like, share the stream if you can, subscribe. Apologies for being late. I've had sofa problems. Prime's had prime problems. These things happen one after the other. But big up Ryan for coming on. You can check him out on Sarcasm City. You can check him out on Bits and Bob's channel, where he does a Liverpool stream on there with our guy Sonny as well. We didn't forget. Prime just had prime problems.
I've been here for the past 2 hours. Don't blame me.
2 hours? Why 2 hours? The stream went till 10:30, man. What are you doing here?
Because I was talking
8:15.
I was talking to Sam.
Oh, okay, cool. But let's get into it. Ryan, you got a lot of things to say about Liverpool. Me and you have been backwards and forwards about the whole Fred Ronaldo thing, like your Salah. But who's the biggest fraud? Let's go with the biggest one. Who do you think is the biggest fraud at Liverpool?
Joe Gomez. That's a simple one for me. It's always been Joe Gomez for me. I've honestly, since the 4 years he's been, wait, is it 4 years or 5 years I think he's been at Liverpool, I've just never rated him from the start. I just don't get the buzz about him. To me, all he's got is pace. He can't defend. He's literally got nothing else to him. He's not strong. He's not good in the air. He's not good in the tackle. He's get caught out of position. He's erratic. He's rash. And I know he's got his ratings over the last few years, but to me, I just put that down to Van. So, Van Dijk could probably make me look half decent, I reckon, in defence. So that's why, for me, Joe Gomez is.
He's a big.
Do not rate that guy.
No, so you don't think he's good enough to do a job for you?
You know what it is when I'd rather see him gone. I'll be honest. I think he's the worst centre back at the club, if I'm being honest. Especially because Lovren went as well. But I think is with Joe Gomez, it's like because when Van Dijk got injured earlier in the season, obviously Gomez was a regular in the few games until he got injured without Van Dijk, and he looked mad shaky in all of them. Man, he was the worst centre back in all of those games, from what I remember. So I just don't trust him. But whenever the ball goes up towards him, I shit myself. I'm not gonna lie. So, I just don't rate Joe Gomez. I never have.
Let's go to Winter Surfer. Welcome to the stream. What's your thoughts on Joe Gomez?
Do you know what? I don't give him much thought because I don't rate him. So.
Last time we said about Joe Gomez.
Do you know what I mean? I laugh at this. Isn't Ryan? Ryan doesn't rate some players, which I find amazing because I listen to him all the time. But when some Liverpool fans talk to me and they blast us for having Zuma, I just think I'd take 100 Zumas over one Joe Gomez every day. And I think do you know what Joe Gomez is? He's a squad player, isn't he? He's just a squad player.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He comes, if it's anyone else, if it's back to normal Liverpool glory days and even Chelsea, Man United, he'd come in for those cup games, last group stage games of the Champions League, the run-ins, the games that aren't that important. If you're relying on Joe Gomez to be a partnership, then I think you're in trouble. No matter how good Van Dijk is, he's not a miracle worker. Do you know what I mean? So, he's done his part. He's had some good games, but for me, I just think he's ordinary. I think he's average. If I'm being honest with you.
I hear that. Samuel, what's your take? You watch pretty much every footballer in the world. I don't know. I don't even know whether you're actually doing anything at school or you just sat there watching football on your phone. Man.
I am, but it's not a player I want to call out in the other. It's the Liverpool fan base. The entire.
No, I'm asking for your thoughts on Gomez, man.
Oh yeah. The fan base. They've hyped Gomez. It's got to be the fan base because they've hyped Joe Gomez up to be this next great England defender, and guess what? He can't even get it in front of the bloody England squad to get ahead of James Tarkowski and Harry Maguire. I mean, it shows you a lot. Even I know it's Gareth Southgate, but still, England centre backs are the weakest position. They still can't get in there. They hyped him up to be this next great thing, Oh, well, with Gomez, we can still win a title. There's no worry. We've got no Van Dijk. We can still easily retain the title. And guess what? The same thing throughout Joe Gomez's career has been the same, injury after injury after injury. Or maybe this year he'll be good. Maybe next year will be good. Maybe this year will be good. But same story year in, year out. He's just dead. Literally dead food. Sell, chopping block, championship player. Or at least bottom half Premier League player there. He's not going
to He's better than championship, surely. He must be.
Come on. This is the greatest team in Premier League history, and he can't be having these type of levels.
He's never played for Man United
or Chelsea.
Greatest team.
Self-proclaimed greatest team.
One of the Invisibles, is he? Charlotte, what's your take on Gomez?
Who? Sorry, Gomez. Sorry, let me just you know what? Like, he's just been a massive flop. Like, he really has. Like, he's dead. He's rubbish. I get bored of him. Like, for me personally, like, I would rather take any player at Chelsea than him right now. And that's saying something because I don't rate a few players.
Any player.
Chelsea. I mean, I'd even take Pulisic over him. And that's saying
Pulisic
something.
Is good. Why do you hate Pulisic so much?
I like him. No. Pulisic
is quality.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, but his injury issue is a problem. Like 21 injuries in like 22 years. Like, that's an issue for me. But even with all his injury problems, I'll still take him over Gomez. Like, sorry, I'd even take Werner, not missing goals like ridiculously. I'd even take Werner over Gomez right now. Like, I'm not even playing. Like,
pretty close.
Sonny, man, you've got the link. I'm sure I sent you the link. If I hadn't sent you the link,
Gomez has just been an absolute flop for you guys. Like, he really has. Like, he's not impressed me. He's not lived up to any sort of standards. And for me, you could probably do a lot better. I mean, I'm pretty sure Brighton have some good players you could take from them. Like, that's how bad it is. Like, I'm pretty sure Sheffield have got some players.
Ben White.
This is my point. Like, if you're comparing him, like, you could take players from Brighton, Sheffield, and they'd be better than Gomez. Like, that's my problem.
Wow.
He's just dead. Like, I'm not impressed with him.
Prime, what's your thoughts on Gomez? I bet you're going to say you love him, right?
Not really. The best thing about Gomez is his pace and versatility. He's nothing special, really. It's funny because the past couple of seasons, last season, Liverpool wanted Ben White, and Liverpool fans raved about him. He could be the English Rolls Royce, the next Van Dijk. So that would mean if they had bought him, he would have to then partner Van Dijk last season. They got Kabak in on loan, the Turkish Van Dijk. So Kabak would then have to partner Van Dijk.
Kabak is terrible
Phillips
as well.
Is this amazing defender, so Nat Phillips would have to partner Van Dijk. They're linked with Konate. I think they've signed Konate. Konate is amazing. If he comes in, because everyone raves about Upamecano, Konate is better than Upamecano. If Konate comes in, he then has to start and partner Van Dijk.
Okay.
Gomez is so. Do you not see the pattern here? If Gomez is so amazing, why is there always a replacement for him?
That's very true. That's very true.
How good is Joe Gomez? And I've said this. amazing season last season, yes, but if you take him out and you put him at Chelsea last season, how leaky defensively we were, does he improve our defense or make us worse? Does he improve Man United's defense? Does he improve Spurs, Arsenal? I don't think he starts at Everton, Southampton, Wolves. Does he improve any other defense that isn't Liverpool? Does he even improve Man City's defense last season? No. This season, I don't think he starts ahead of Laporte, who I don't rate. Well, I don't think Laporte.
But it doesn't start against the Burnley defenders that you rate. So you know what I mean? So it doesn't start.
Well, no, probably not. I don't think he'll do that. Look, Gomez is good. But in terms of this world-class centre back, everyone keeps raving about. No. I don't rate Gabriel. I don't rate Gabriel at Arsenal. I might even take him over Gomez.
I don't rate Gabriel, but I'm taking him over Joe Gomez tomorrow. I'm telling you.
Keeping Trey out.
Samuel's guy. I think it's safe.
Next week's episode.
I think it's safe to say that Gomez can definitely go on Fraud Watch. Everyone's convinced me of that. Definitely.
Yeah, put him on there now. Yeah,
whack him on.
Is it even Fraud Watch?
Whack him on.
Roger Van Gavet. Oh.
Is it even? Okay, that's the sign to move on. Prime time button. That's the sign to move on.
I assumed that's what you were trying to do.
No. I was just looking at the comments. I was just reading through the comments. Do you know what? I forget most of the time that we've got one of those things.
Yeah.
Let's go to Samuel, a Liverpool fraud, please. But before I hear from you, people, please smash the like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, share it on your socials. Everybody on the stream, their links, the channels they're on, their socials are all in the description. Get down in there and go and follow them, please. And even Sonny's, when he turns up, they're in there as well. But Samuel, who are you putting on Fraud Watch from Liverpool?
I said it earlier, and I'll say it again. It's the Liverpool fan base. I mean, come on, it's the most grumpy, arrogant fan base in the Premier League. They can never be happy. Listen, let's go years ago when they finally get good. I'm gonna go I'm gonna go full egal on Liverpool here. Going on the fans. They got a little bit, they've been dead for years, and they get a little bit of chest. They win the good Champions League. I never won it, but they win the Premier League, and they win. Say a bad Premier League season. I mean, everyone was bad. The third place team finished with 66 points. That's how you know it's bad. I just want to go on about, really, they start calling themselves the greatest team ever. They win the title. They start doing photo shoots with the UCL title. When they didn't win it in the same season. It's on the previous season. That doesn't make any sense to me. It's on the previous season. You're taking 4 ups in the Champions League trophy, and they go, "Oh yes, we're the greatest Premier League team ever. We're better than the treble winners, Invincibles, Chelsea are 4 and 5. All of those teams saying, "Oh yes, we're better than this, we're better than that." And guess what? Now they're a half decent team, and now they're moaning about this, FSG that, FSG this. But hang on, didn't in 2018, 2019, FSG themselves said that there's money at Liverpool.
Sonny's gone already.
There's money at Liverpool, and Klopp even spend it. So let's give some of it a cup instead of.
They've got money this win. They got money this summer. Don't get that twisted. But Sonny's alright.
Hang on. No. Stop it.
Was when Liverpool started losing, and he had Niall doing all of his streams on his channel.
Yeah,
he didn't even go live. My Wi-Fi was actually down. Issues. What about this Gomez talk anyway? Who called him a flop?
Everyone here.
You're a Chelsea fan. If there's anyone who knows what a flop is, it's you.
Yeah, exactly. Because you know how to do a title defense, don't you? Because that title defense is going really well.
Joe Gomez isn't a part of the title defense.
Hold on. Don't come for me. Do not come for my team.
He's not part of the defense at the moment. 7-2
to Aston Villa as your title defense started. You don't even deserve to call yourselves champions. As far as I'm concerned, I'm calling Man City.
But that's not my point. That's not my point.
He is a flop.
Let me give my reason then. Let me give my reason.
Let Sonny go. Let me
give my reason. £5 million, a Premier League title, a Champions League title. I think we got our money back in it.
That's fair enough.
Is that it?
Wait, hold on.
But did we get our money
it?
back on Lovren?
Is that it?
Wait,
Is
Sonny,
that
if
it?
that's
Sorry,
Sonny, if
is that
that's
your
the
defense?
case, Sonny, if that's the case,
What?
do you
Go
agree that Torres is also not a flop for Chelsea?
Well, Gomez actually contributed to it, so
Torres contributed to us winning.
not much.
Torres,
Not much.
Torres,
Not
he's
much.
contributed more than Gomez in winning our Champions League and Europa League.
What, by scoring like one goal?
Well, it's
in
not
the
just
final
one, it's
Europa
not just
League,
one
right?
goal, but yeah, he
Scored in
scored.
the final Europa League.
He scored.
Top scorer that
He
season,
scored a
Europa League.
semi-final goal in the Champions League, and he scored. He was top scorer. for
In
Europa
that
League,
case,
and scored in the
Origi
final,
must
so
be
yeah.
the best signing ever.
Well, no, because Origi only literally scored 3 goals or 2 goals.
Torres only scored about 3 goals.
I'll be honest. I can't
right
stand
now.
Torres because he's my favourite player of all time. So
I love Torres, but
I
for
can't stand
Chelsea,
Torres.
I don't know what to say. And Sammy, what are you doing back in FSG, man? You know better than that.
No, listen. Look at the other owners. Look at your position. Be grip. We have the Cronkies. We might have the Glazers.
Look at our position. We're 7th.
Doesn't
but
matter.
I'm sorry.
Come on.
By the end of the season, Liverpool will be joining the Europa Conference League. So don't come at me because Liverpool aren't getting Champions League. So enjoy the Conference League,
Well,
okay?
if you win the Champions League, you actually get Champions League football.
Yeah, and like you're gonna win the
Whoa,
Champions
are you? Hang on, whoa. Let me
League.
stop this.
You're gonna win the Champions
Are
League.
you?
You're
Sonny's
telling
saying they're
me
winning Champions
you're
League.
capable of beating Bayern Munich and PSG. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're not capable.
Bayern Munich haven't got Lewandowski, so PSG are going to knock them out, and then we're going to play PSG at some point probably, and then we're going to beat
Just to
PSG.
clarify,
If only they had
firstly,
more than one player.
you have to beat Chelsea first. So don't come at me and talk to me.
Sarah, don't-
Just to
we still
clarify,
have to say-
hold
You have to
on.
beat Real
Real
Madrid
Madrid
first.
first, yeah.
I'm not underrating Porto, but we are capable of beating Porto. We've also beaten Liverpool once already, so it's not going to be that hard because we've already.
We've beaten you once already as well, so you know.
Yeah, no, but Lampard tax.
Yeah, but they're
Yeah.
on Lampard at that time.
Yeah,
Oh,
Lampard
come
doesn't
on.
count,
I'm
right?
not having this Lampard tax. You
Lampard
tried to
tax.
save him, man.
Hold on. Everyone underestimated us. Even I did, as a Chelsea fan, underestimated us when we got Atletico Madrid. I underestimated us as well. Like, I'm not even playing. I underestimated us. I thought we were going to get knocked out, but we didn't. Tuchel turned it around, and even with the lineups, I was shocked and I was impressed by the tactics that we
Atletico
provided
tax.
and the way we played. However,
How is it Atletico
do
tax?
not-
You can beat
Yeah,
them.
do what you do,
hold
fam.
on. Sonny, don't underestimate Chelsea when you have to play.
I'm underestimating
No.
Atletico.
He's not. He's not.
Right, let's move this along.
Yeah.
This is turning into a shouting match, and Gomez is already a fraud. We've already decided that. Here comes the man.
Liverpool fan base. Liverpool's kryptonite is here. To my
Oh,
right.
What's
going on, people?
Wait.
Egal.
Wait, sorry,
No,
wait,
this-
no,
wait.
no, wait.
Oh,
No,
oh,
Guys,
that way.
yeah. Liverpool
What's going
kryptonite
on
is
here?
here.
I have to suffer with this McDonald's Wi-Fi, so I'm sorry. If you guys can hear me clearly, hopefully.
Yeah, clear enough. Egal, before your Wi-Fi dies, give us your Liverpool fraud, man.
Okay, my Liverpool fraud has to be the medical training team. You guys took one of our trainers, built our team, and constantly has been giving us issues for the past 10 years. And he came to you, and coincidentally, a team that was healthy for 3 full seasons, just out of nowhere, miraculously, boom, everything just falls over. And like the whole team, everybody falls over and it's done. So I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of people you could call frauds, but the biggest fraud of them all is that guy who used to be the trainer for Arsenal and now is currently at Liverpool.
Chris Morgan.
Oh my god.
No, but this is one that even the Liverpool fans will agree with. He
As much
is
as-
a fraud.
Yeah, I got
How
no
is it-
reason to disagree. Yeah.
As much as I agree with you, are you not then, by contrast, saying Arsenal were frauds?
Also, that trainer.
Arsenal
was
are
a fraud.
frauds. Hang on a minute. They were. They are.
Arsenal are still frauds.
Listen.
Sonny, you're not that
Sonny,
Sonny, don't talk.
Sonny, genuine
What?
question. Genuine question. Do you not agree that trainer is definitely nicking a living?
No, yeah, I do agree. Yeah, I don't know how he's got a job.
Okay, and then now, second of all, so that's one that we all agree on, right?
Yeah,
Now here's the real banterous one, right? The real fraud of them all is not Mane, it's not Salah's diving, it's not Trent, It's Robertson, because Robertson is supposed to be having the best season, this great season. He's supposed to be their best player, but you guys are talking about Robertson. Luke Shaw and Kieran Tierney have better seasons than him. Let's be real.
Hang on. Can I just say this really quick then? In a very good team, which you mentioned the other day on the terrace, up until January, he was by far, in my opinion, our best player.
That doesn't mean he's the best left back.
I agree with that. Until January,
because we were top of the league.
Sonny, we're in April right now.
Okay. So
yeah, all right. Hang on.
We're
in April right now. Then why don't we count the last 2 years as well then?
But we're not.
When you lose tomorrow,
last 30.
clip this up if you guys want. When you lose tomorrow and you get slapped,
We're not conceding.
You guys
to
are gonna get, after that happens, you guys are gonna say to yourself, you could end the season lower than Arsenal. Right now, we're what?
No. I promise. If you beat us tomorrow, we will finish above you. And even if you beat us tomorrow, we're still above you.
No. But look at the schedule. We have Sheffield United, Fulham. Am I crazy?
I actually think Robertson's like the fourth best left back this season.
I guess someone. No, wait. Someone's a little rattled. Go to the comment below. Someone's a little bit rattled. Just put that comment up, Prime. Yeah, I think someone's a little rattled. Oh, sorry,
No, we had to. No, it's not the whole stream either, Ram. Don't worry. Go back to your VHS, man.
Go open some FIFA packs, Ram. Go open some FIFA packs.
I think Robertson's got to be like the fourth. I would say Luke Shaw, Tierney, and Dino all ahead of him this season. I'm not even joking.
He's not even the best left back in Merseyside? Wow.
No, he's not the best left back in
Merseyside. You're talking about this season?
Yes.
Yo, you guys only have the. You guys don't have the best striker.
Season they'd be better than him.
We haven't got a striker, you go.
You don't have the best
center back.
striker
for 4 years.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yo, I heard somebody in the Arsenal
Imagine being a Man United
your
fan.
midfield. Listen. I don't agree to these sentiments, but I've heard your midfielders get into our team in a combined 11 when realistically none of your midfielders have played to the level of Mohamed El Neni this season.
Hang on, Fabinho.
No. Wait, hold on.
We're not having the El Neni.
Not that far.
If you're going to make that statement, if you're going to make that statement, you have to say names. Because I don't want people coming for you and saying you said this. So name names. Name any name.
What?
Because people are going to say you said it.
Name the Liverpool players.
Who said it? Who said
El Neni is better?
Who's the person that said this?
If you want me to name names, I don't grass on people, man. I'm sorry.
People are going to.
I wonder why.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Listen, you guys know I did a combined 11 on my channel. You guys can go see that yourself. I did not put Mohamed El Neni in that midfield, but a certain Arsenal fan said this Liverpool team's midfield should be compared to Mohamed El Neni, not Thomas Partey. Let's be real. Based on your performances this season, you've had no midfield. Everybody has played through your whole team.
Right, we haven't had a midfield. Our midfield's been our defence.
Yeah, that's my point.
Wow.
You've triggered someone, Agal. You've triggered someone.
Wait, Sonny, repeat what you said.
Our midfield's been defence.
Why is your midfield been playing in defence?
Because Jurgen Klopp.
Oh, so Klopp's a fraud then. Oh, that's fine.
Okay, so
listen, guys, I'm gonna go. But before I go, I just gotta say one thing. After we beat Liverpool, all you're gonna be hearing the whole week, Sonny, is bum 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 bum.
Bring it on.
I love that.
We love a
We'll finish above them. Watch, we're still finishing above them. They could beat us 5-0 tomorrow.
And you still think you finish above them?
What do Arsenal have done this years now? They go and beat a big team, and they'll go and lose to Burnley, whoever it is, 2 games in a row.
You're going to be proud
to be honest, I've never wanted Arsenal to finish above Liverpool more than I have right now.
Wait. So, Sonny, you're going to be happy and proud for Liverpool finishing above Arsenal this season.
I never said I'd be happy about it. I just said that we will, because that's normal expectation from me now.
Okay, yeah, but what happens if they don't? What happens if, because I'm hoping this is the outcome, to be honest. What happens if actually Arsenal get Conference League and you don't even get Conference League?
Well, we're winning the league next season then. That's
worrying. Worrying if Arsenal finish above.
Saying this, but you haven't defended. You haven't defended your Premier League. You won the Premier League last season for the first time in 30 years. And what have you done with the Championship? Absolutely made it look like a twat. You've literally done nothing. You've literally embarrassed yourself.
The energy coming from.
Sonny,
You've actually embarrassed yourself.
you said I've come to expect what?
To finish above Arsenal.
How long have you been expecting this?
They've been doing it for about 4 years, isn't it?
No,
2 years.
because in my
It's
life,
been more than 2 years, Samuel.
because in my life, up until the last 2 seasons,
I'm not talking about my lifetime finishing above Arsenal.
Oh, okay. So recent history, very recent history.
Well, you lot were talking about recent history when we came to left back, so you know.
Well,
let's get the Liverpool slander out of the way, and then we'll get into some of the comments and some other frauds. Charlotte, who do you want to put forward from Liverpool?
I mean, I have two.
One
people.
thing. Just one thing, though. Okay, not.
Yeah, but I can't. I have
22
two people.
players.
No, I have 2 people I want to put on fraud watch. Just 2, okay? Okay, the first, obviously, is Trent Alexander-Arnold, because the man is such a fraud. Like everyone's seeing what I've seen for so long is that he's overrated. Like, everyone thinks he's like the best in the world.
Why is he
overrated?
Why is he overrated? Why is he overrated?
Look, hold on. Let me explain why. Look at the way he's performed this season. Absolute shite. Since Virgil van Dijk's got injured, he's nothing. He's irrelevant. He's dead ass. I'm sorry, because Virgil van Dijk's missing. He's supposed to step up. Has he? No. Do I even notice he's on the pitch?
He's been bad this season, but statistically, he's outperformed all the other right backs in the league.
That's debatable.
Come on, Sonny.
Come on, like, you've got to be realistic. You genuinely can't tell me that since Virgil van Dijk's been injured, he's been one of the best players, because he hasn't.
No. 2 months ago, up until then, I'd agree. But since then, I think he's been one of our best players.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't.
That's not saying much, though. That's the thing.
It's not saying much.
Sonny, what metric are you using to say he's outperforming right backs? For
attacking hope.
The attacking stats.
Because that's all that you right backs see. You've all copied Trent now, haven't you?
No.
Sonny,
hold on. He's a right back, so he needs to be able to go back and defend, but he doesn't do that.
He's a right
he does do that, Prime.
Well, he's not good, but Everton Rose,
your opinion,
says Liverpool are so bad that Everton, we beat them for the first time this century. How will I ever?
What does that make you then?
How can I explain to my kids Tom Davis outclassed the Spanish Joe Gomez?
It's true.
Sonny, how are you gonna
Listen, people,
explain
go and check out Everton Rose as well on YouTube.
Yeah.
Go and subscribe to that channel. Very good.
Can I give my second one now?
And then your third one, then your fourth one, then your fifth one.
It's just 2.
I just have 2 this time because I only need 2 to absolutely annihilate. My second is Thiago.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Do you know what?
I'm guessing that was Andrew's.
Andrew's like fuming. Andrew, do you want me to switch mine? Because I had a backup.
No, it's fine. There's plenty of stuff to do Liverpool.
You go to the other 4th, 5th option. Use one of them instead.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew, it's fine. I'm just going to use my 4th or 5th option, and you just carry on with Thiago, okay?
Okay.
I'm just going to put Klopp on. I'm going to put Klopp on fraud watch. And do you know why? Klopp has been.
We will be.
Let me tell you.
holding his hand up.
You know what? I'll put Jared on fraud watch. It's fine. Continue.
It's okay. Do you know why? Klopp is on my fraud watch? Firstly, he's been found out. He's been found out, and he hasn't changed his tactics. He hasn't changed anything. He hasn't switched anything up. He's still been that found out manager that hasn't decided to switch anything up. He's still playing the same tactics. He's still playing the same dead ass tactics that making you lose games to Brighton, to Burnley, to Chelsea, to Everton. You've lost to Everton at Anfield for the first time since 1999. You've lost to Man City at Anfield for the first time since 2002. It's embarrassing. You're basically breaking all your own losing records because Klopp won't change his tactics. He won't switch it up. He won't
Hold
change
on.
anything
Wait,
up.
Charlotte,
He's
can I pause you for a
basically a
second?
massive fraud.
Can I pause you for a second? Everton Rose, Ramside, Everton Rose took a pandemic to beat you. Is this not the same Liverpool fans that were saying it doesn't matter, we won a league in a pandemic? Excuses.
But we didn't really win a league in a pandemic.
Let's be fair. That league was done. That league was done.
We had league done last January.
Wait, I just want to say my one more message before tomorrow's game is that Sonny, Ryan, be ready to face the reality of Bukayo Saka, Pierre Travis Scott Aubameyang. The score, the winner, Arsenal 3, Liverpool 1. Liverpool fans in tears. I know I'm waiting for Sonny's reaction video for him to see him cry again.
We're not conceding to the co-op middle Travis Scott, man.
Samuel, do a troops and say save this for life.
Save this fun. Save this fun. Aboma who? Aboma what? Aboma Black Yang, and I'm out.
Liverpool by the name of Travis. No, he's no longer a football player.
Oh my days.
Saka not playing, Sam.
Right,
oh, sorry. Right.
Where's everyone gone?
No, here. Who's next? who wants to go next? Indiana, you go.
Oh man, Liverpool fraud watch, man. The fraud. I wanted Thiago. Obviously,
Sure,
I wanted Klopp.
Thiago.
Yeah, no, not as a player.
No one mentioned Gerrard. That's mine.
Okay, I won't mention Gerrard. I wanted Klopp because I think he'll die on that hill with that system. I really do. And that'll be the downfall.
He's gonna die next season then.
Yeah, I've been saying for a long time.
We die next season, but above you in the table.
Before the injuries in the window on the terrace, I said that you wouldn't get any higher than third. You got the injuries. I'd be surprised if you got anywhere near top 4. That's just what it is. I think you got found out towards the end of last season. I've said that many times. I said that on your channel many times as well, Sonny. Like I just, that's what I believe. That's what I think I've seen. So Klopp has to be on there. I agree with that. But I'm going to go with Mo Salah. I have to go with Mo Salah.
Oh, Ryan, you're going to like this one, mate.
Yes, Indiana, come on.
I have to. Do you know what's really made me put him on there?
You have to. You don't have to.
Yes, I do. I do, because you keep telling me how he's better than Ronaldo and all that, Sonny. I'm not having all that. Yeah. I'm not having all that talk. That's ridiculous. No, it's not. It's not. He's not better than Hazard, let alone Ronaldo.
Exactly.
So,
thank you very much.
Yeah,
listen, Mo Salah. No, he's not. He's nowhere near. I think when you've got like your front three and you've won a Champions League and then you've won a Premier League, you should be able to score goals still. I don't care what's happened to your defence. I really don't care. Like if you're getting the ball into the box and it's the same front three.
That's the difference. This guy does score goals. It's the other two.
I think he should be offering more. If he's going to be put on the pedestal of I'm world class by Liverpool fans, he needs to be running games, like really running games. I don't think you can call him world class, and for that, I think he's got to go forward.
No way.
Yeah, no. I think the unit of the three of them, like the whole Liverpool system, incredible. But Mo Salah individually as a player, nah, he's nowhere near Mane's level.
So many times when we've lost this season, 7-2 against Villa, scores 2 goals. Chelsea, when we lose 1-0, creates 2 massive
Sonny, I used to see Jermaine Defoe do that all the time for Spurs. And
yeah, well, who's letting him down as his teammates?
Oh, come on. No, what do you mean let him down?
How are you going to compare Salah to Jermaine Defoe? Like, I'm not even going to let that slide, bro. How are you going to compare Salah, yeah? Man won the Golden Boot twice.
I didn't even realise O'Shea was in it. But Salah's a fraud. Salah's a fraud. You know this. Salah's a fraud.
I can't rate in a player who can't throw the ball properly.
But you have to admit
you can't rate the Premier League top scorer.
You know,
right.
Yeah, but you've got to look
Ryan
at it.
Let Ryan go.
This is.
Let Ryan
go. Let him go on the Salah slander.
The ultimate Salah.
This is what this guy was born for, man.
Yeah.
Bro, I've been Salah out for like a year and a half, I'd say. I've been Salah out because he just frustrates the hell out of me when he plays.
Man said a year and a half.
Man, when this guy. Yeah, and I was still Salah out. Trust me. October 2019, I was Salah out, like pure Salah out. Wow. And what annoys me is that when he's not scoring, he's tapping penalties in games. it's like he's playing for the other team at times. He just gives the ball to them all the time, like doing stupid shit, like miscontrolling the ball, passing it to them. Honestly, he's so frustrating. Like he causes a lot of our attacks to break down because he can't control the ball properly. He looks like he's falling over when he's dribbling. I just feel that if we were to replace him with someone who's more technically better on the ball, we'd be able to create more chances because he'd be able to link better with the players around him and less. Bro, we'd create more chances anyway. We would probably score some. I mean, Salah ain't a great finisher anyway. Salah misses better chances as well, you know.
Better finisher
Let me jump in with my 2 cents on Salah, yeah. I rate the guy, don't get it twisted, yeah. I love this guy, but I'm Salah out myself, bro. I want this guy to go, bro. I'm honest with you. Now, you know the issue, yeah? I don't want him to go in it, of course not, but it's getting to that time now where he needs to move on. He's 28 years old. He's never going to be worth as much as he is now. You get me? Chelsea knew what to do with Hazard. They sold him, cashed in, and there we go. United used to do it all the time under Fergie, cash in at the right time.
Yeah.
And the media used to think Fergie was mad for doing it. Remember when he sold Beckham, and then who does he replace him with? Rooney and Ronaldo. So
what has FSG done to you? Why are you thinking about the money we're going to get for Salah? Because think about what he's doing on the pitch.
Because I don't look. Because that's the issue. That's the issue. What you've just said there. One second. What you've just said there is the issue with Liverpool fans. We're too sentimental, bro. At the end of the day, it's time for him to move on. We're never gonna get. We have got the best out of Salah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're never gonna get better than.
There's no evidence.
And the same with Firmino. You sell Salah and Mane now, you're getting over 240 million easily. Yeah, you sell Firmino on top of that. You know, you could get close to
241.
No, but let's be real though. Let's be real though. Regardless of how crap Firmino's been this season, he's a £50 million player. When you look at other players like Dominic Solanke and Danny Ings, he's a £50 million player. So you cash in on them now, and you go out and invest. We sit here as Liverpool fans talking about Mbappe's and Haaland's and Sancho's. Where's this money going to come from unless we sell our players? Because we wouldn't have signed Van Dijk or Alisson had we not signed Coutinho. It's time for them to go, bruv. They're 28, 29.
In that case, you should have put FSG on fraud watch.
I've put FSG on fraud watch many times, big man. So what do you want them to do, bro? Like they're on death row, bro. They can't be on fraud watch no more.
Sonny, you can only do it 5 times.
You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, that's what I'm trying to say. This.
He has put them on twice in one show before, to be fair.
It's a limitation.
But just to clarify something, Salah and Mane are still the players that you've said they are, that like still like performing like they did winning the Premier League, but they haven't turned up. The problem is nothing.
No. But
Nothing at the front three has changed. The only thing that's changed is that Salah and Mane have decided not to turn up.
Salah has turned up. Salah's the top scorer in the league.
I want to Salah to leave.
Someone program the link.
I wanted to sell Salah.
If you're telling me in every single Liverpool game this season, Salah's turned up. No. In not even 50% of those games has he turned up. I'm sorry, there have been some games.
Salah has more bad games than good.
Look, Salah's been poor this season. Salah has been very poor this season. He's only top scorer of the league. He's only top scorer of the league.
Salah was poor last season.
But just
you can't think the rest have been poor because it's still 17 goals and that's the top scorer in the league.
I just think if you're a world class player, then you turn up every single game. That's why I expect consistency for a world class player as well.
Why didn't Ronaldo turn up for Juventus the other week then?
I think Ronaldo's turned up enough, don't you? He's got credit.
Well, hang on. Well, from what I heard, he's got every game.
You've got to stop comparing Salah to Ronaldo.
You want to talk about Ronaldo? Let's talk about Ronaldo. Ronaldo's team have done a Chelsea. They've given a great player a managerial role when he has no experience. Pirlo, as a footballer, incredible. Pirlo, as a manager, has no experience. He doesn't know what he's doing. Have you ever known? No, hold on. Have you ever heard of Ronaldo not turning up for a full 90 minutes? No, he's had bad games.
The other week.
I'm just hold on. Let me get there. Let me finish, Han. Firstly, He's had bad games, but you've still known he's on the pitch. I didn't know he was on the pitch when he was playing Porto. I forgot he was on the pitch. I didn't know. It took me.
I can name another time when he was shit. I can name a time when he's never turned up.
There's a few times.
I can literally think of a time off the top of my head when he's not turned up for a game.
What I'm saying is, this is the worst he's been. This is the worst he's been when it's been 2 consecutive games of actually poorness. But it's not actually just Ronaldo. It's based on the fact that the manager has no experience. And you can't keep giving these players managerial roles when they don't have any experience. Do a Steven Gerrard when you learn from the bottom and work your way up, because that's the only way you're going to learn stuff.
I think you're just hurt, because of what you've gone through with Lampard. I'm not
Let me tell you now, I'm not even playing. I may be hurt, but I can tell you that I'm talking from experience. I'm
getting a lot of self-projection from this argument.
No, come on, O'Shea. Don't play me like this. Don't play me like. I'm telling you now, like, it's true though. Pirlo doesn't have the experience to manage a team like Juve.
I don't think it's Pirlo necessarily, because I've seen a lot from him. I've seen a lot from him that I do like. I think it's Ronaldo is a big problem for him.
It's not just Ronaldo. You can't just blame Ronaldo. Pirlo is also a problem.
Yeah, but Ronaldo.
But Pirlo is a main factor on the
Juventus. They've been declining since Ronaldo joined them, and when you look at that, his individual numbers have been phenomenal. But players like Ronaldo at his age are not really right for clubs like Juventus and these. He should have just stayed at Real Madrid and retired there, because he's too big of a character. Like he's too much of an intimidation for new managers, and especially a manager like Pirlo. And this is going to be the issue with Messi. I think if Messi leaves Barcelona, he needs to go to Man City and be under Pep. I don't think going to PSG and being under Pochettino is going to be good for Pochettino, because hasn't got a backbone as a manager to take on a player like Messi. And you're going to see the decline in PSG if he does join them. And that's the problem with Juventus, because he's too big of a player. Ronaldo's the type of player that tells you I'm coming off the pitch and tells you, no, do not substitute me. Do you understand? And not on a Kepa level. Like, he's telling you, I'm not coming off the pitch, and you're not doing anything about it. Do you understand what I'm saying? I've seen him do it. I've seen him score goals and come off the pitch and tell the manager, sub me. Do you know what I'm saying? He's too big of a character for someone like Pirlo. So I urge FSG to just listen to what I've said and sign Ronaldo. But I'm joking. Obviously, that's not going to happen. Indiana's face when I said that, he's looking at me like, bro, this man's never going to your club. He's our player. He's never going to Liverpool.
You've been on the Mbappe thing ever since I met you, O'Shea, man. You seem to think Mbappe is definitely coming to Liverpool.
You know what? Yeah, I'm just hoping, innit? I don't.
Mbappe's a dream. It's reality.
It's going to be a real.
I've got no. I don't put my faith in FSG, because when I look at it, we can sign him and we're just choosing not to. That's the reality of it.
FSG, do you think you can? Some rebuild owners.
We could sign him right now.
Him,
we can. We could sign him right now if we really wanted to. We could. Don't believe the tabloids, bro. Liverpool have money. FSG just don't want to spend money like that.
Listen,
Liverpool
don't believe it.
Money, bro. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about tabloid articles. Look at the facts of business and the money we've turned over the past few years. The mathematics don't make sense for how much we're spending. We have money. We just don't spend money.
No, I reckon we have more money than we say we have. I don't know if
we have enough money to compete with the likes of Chelsea, United, and City on a level, because it doesn't matter how rich their owners are. FSP,
long term, we don't.
Long term, we don't. But long term is irrelevant.
Can I just ask a question? How can you think Mbappe is going to come to your club? Now, I'm not being horrible here, but I just want to ask something, because you've won the Premier League for the first time in 30 years, and congratulations to you. But you haven't defended it. Why would Mbappe come to a club that can't actually defend their own Premier League title? And I'm just asking. Hold on. I'm just asking a hypothetical now. If hypothetically you don't win the Champions League, which I don't think you are going to, why is he going to come to a team that actually hasn't won a trophy this season?
He's not coming to the club. Don't get it twisted. If we don't win the
Champions
League,
I know he's not.
But the point is this: Mbappe's what you would call like a moments player. He thrives off moments. This is why he's the type of guy that would go to United, regardless of where United are in the table. because he's like Sancho. He's a moments player. For him, going to a big club like Liverpool in the Premier League, and he knows if he goes there, he's winning them the Premier League. And then after 4 years, he'll fuck off to Real Madrid. That's the type of player he is. This is why Sancho wants to go to United, even though last season they were terrible. But he wanted to go because he's a moments player. You get where I'm coming from? So if you give him the wages, he'd come. But we're not going to do that because we've got these owners that don't like to spend money, bro. So it's pointless deliberating about it because he's not going to come to Liverpool. We're not going to sign him. We're not even going to sign Haaland. Like, we're not going to sign nobody.
Not even going to sign Haaland. No, I don't think you're in the running for that. Ram, what's your thoughts? I know you're going crazy in the comments about about the Liverpool slander.
I was minding my own business, listening to some music, and then I see what my notifications pop up, another Liverpool forward. I was like, let's have a look.
Yeah, it had to be done, man.
And some of the stuff, I can understand. Some of the stuff is you are being a little bit reactionary. I think the Salah being a fraud, I think is not.
No, he's a fraud.
Ridiculous.
No,
ridiculous.
He's not a fraud. He's not a fraud.
He's a fraud.
Because he's been our best player, and there have been so many.
That doesn't mean he's not a fraud.
But
him being our best player doesn't exactly say much.
Well, that's
this season.
The problem is that
he's in a team full of underperforming players.
He's our best player by far.
He has created.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he's
according
not.
to the stats in the end, he literally has been played this season. So how do you want to counter argue that? Tell us that
I don't think you lot realize this guy's the top scorer in the league.
Because you've been
there's no context.
You just rebuted somebody in the end.
I think you don't realize that I've seen Kevin Phillips be the top scorer in the league before.
Exactly.
But the thing is, though, Indiana, you just disputed somebody. They've said, he's our best player by far, and you've said he's not. But the stats prove that every season since he's come to Liverpool, bar Van Dijk, he's been our best player.
I don't think he is your best player.
But the stats, but what you think is irrelevant.
I think Van Dijk's definitely your best player.
Yeah, but what you think, Indiana, is irrelevant. What I think is irrelevant, because that's an opinion. The stats prove otherwise. He's been our best player consistently.
No, you can't go on stats. Okay, then Fred's world class.
When his stats are that good, you can go on stats. When his stats are as good as they are, it's not like his stats aren't that great. If his stats were average, we might not look at stats. But because his stats are so good, we might as well just use it.
I don't. Yeah, but stats.
When everyone's on form, Salah isn't even in our top 5 best players.
No, you can't.
Everyone's on form in our team. Salah's not even our top 5 best players.
Because everyone on top form, he's probably our best player because he's proven that he's capable of doing much more than he is. I think the system that we're playing, we are sort of limiting how a player, what kind of play he is. I still get angry with the fact that the guy keeps on going into the box while I want him to go out wide because he's very good at holding up the ball. His touch from what you said, Ryan, his touch is actually very, very good. I think you're being overly critical about it.
His touch is terrible, man.
No, you can't say his touch is terrible.
I think it used to be terrible. It looks good now.
No, but his touch is very, very good. And my main
problem. So Indiana, you're basing him not being world class off this season, and that's fine. I can appreciate that. So then, if next season Bruno Fernandes has a bad season, if next season United have a terrible season, bruv, if next season United have a terrible season and Bruno Fernandes dips in form but is still the best player at United, would you then be happy to say, well, he's not world class then because he's having a bad season? He's not having a great season.
I don't think Bruno Fernandes is world class.
What's your definition of world class?
I don't think he is. I don't think he's world class.
I think you can isolate a career and what somebody's achieved and look at their individual brilliance. And I can look at Bruno Fernandes and say he's been at United for under 2 years, but I can see his individual talent. He's world class. He's a world class player. If you put him in Real Madrid or you put him at Manchester City, he would win the league with them. He wouldn't make them decline. He would improve them. So he is world class. So your argument doesn't stand up, bruv, because for you to say Salah's not world class based on this season is ridiculous.
When the season ended today, 3 golden boots in 4 seasons.
Didn't he share one of those golden boots with Aubameyang?
Oh, well, he still got the golden boot, didn't he?
And Mane, yeah.
I'm just saying,
Still won it.
No, he jointly won it. Yeah.
No, he still won it.
Salah's overall performances.
I think he took one of the shoelaces home with the golden boot. That's what he did.
No, he still won it though. Still won it.
Because what defines world class then, Indiana, in your book? Because Salah's been at the club for 4 seasons. He's took us to a Champions League final. He then won us the Champions League. and he was one of the main reasons we won the Premier League. So what then defines world class to you?
He's hiding. He's hiding. He got caught out, man.
For me, it's very easy for a United fan to sit here and criticize our Liverpool players that we've got now because they've only been doing it for 4 years. But not everybody's Ryan Giggs. Not everybody's going to have a 20-year career. Not everybody's, do you know what I'm saying, a player that plays for a club that wins trebles and back-to-backs over many decades. United were lucky. They dominated for years. But that doesn't take away what... Is Aubameyang then not world-class because he's not won anything with Arsenal? But he is, though. He's world-class. He's a world-class player. He's
no, he's not. Aubameyang's not world-class.
But he's world-class.
Nah, he's overrated.
He's not world-class.
Aubameyang's overrated.
But he's not overrated, though, because the fact
he's not world-class, though, Shane, man.
He's not world-class. He scores goals, bruv. This season, he's been shit. But the stats of his career up until last season, he has been world class. If he retired, say 2 years ago,
Winter stuff, he has. Even his performances with Borussia Dortmund were stupid.
Arsenal are a better team without Aubameyang.
If Aubameyang had retired 2 seasons ago, forget this season and forget last season. If Aubameyang had retired 2 seasons ago, you would look back and go, his career has been a world class career. Yeah, he may have not won.
No, it wouldn't.
He would as an individual.
No. Winter Stuff, if you beat one of the greatest ever Bundesliga strikers in the Torjäger Kanone, as they call it.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, he hasn't won anything, but that's not necessarily his fault. You can then put it down to bad decision making in terms of clubs, but that's irrelevant. His individual performances, he is a world class player.
Well, Andrew, what's your definition then of world class?
It's not a world class player.
Andrew, what's your definition of world class?
Anyone who's a Chelsea player. That's what you think.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm so biased. Anyone that's a Chelsea player. Yeah, I mean, my God, a Kepa is only that step away from being a world class goalkeeper. Come on, there's so many factors. I just tell you, the ultimate world class. It's hard, isn't it? Because you can't really put them on Messi's and Ronaldo's level. It's too.
They're elite, though, isn't it?
They're elite. They're not even world class. They're just different.
They're on a different planet.
Listen, I'm not. Listen, I haven't said Salah isn't world class. I think he has been playing at a world class level for the last 5 years. My objection was Aubameyang being called world class. That was my objection.
He's been that.
I can't have Aubameyang world class.
If you took Fabinho out of our club and put Aubameyang in there, I think we would have retained the title this season. Do you get where I'm coming from? That's the levels of performances.
But you're going from Firmino, who's a grade A turd, to Aubameyang, who's decent. Do you know what I mean?
I think that's hard to say because
Arsenal have proved it. Arsenal have proved this season they're better without Aubameyang anyway.
Yeah, they've been played.
They're a better team without Aubameyang. They play so much better without.
Arsenal's own decline has proved how world class Aubameyang is. The man won a golden boot in a squad.
No, that's not the point. The point is Aubameyang is
how does a world class player
the last 5 or 6 seasons he's had?
Let me tell you why. Yeah, let me tell you why. Because if you look how shit Arsenal were last season, and for somebody who's got no creativity around him, people talk about United without not having creativity without Bruno. That is nothing compared to Arsenal last season. When you're talking about Xhaka and fucking who else is Lacazette and these type of players around him, and he's got a Mustafi, and he's winning golden boots and winning them games and stopping them from getting in a seriously dangerous position in the league. That is an individual world-class player. If you're in a team with Xhaka behind you and you're getting 22 goals in a season, you are world-class. If Aubameyang was at Manchester City, United, or Liverpool, we would be performing at different levels. And maybe not City because they're as good as it gets. But if he was at Liverpool this season, I think we would have retained the title because those few games where we didn't score a goal and got a draw against like Fulham and these teams, we probably would have won.
In these games we were barely creating chances. If you're not creating,
but that's the thing though. Aubameyang doesn't need chances. He's proven that. Aubameyang's proven that because he's in a team. He's in a team. Yeah, where he doesn't get the ball. Period. Now imagine him at Liverpool when we're playing shit, but every so often a ball may get into the box. If that wasn't Firmino behind it and that's Aubameyang, that ball's going in the back of the net because most of the.
But Aubameyang can't create anything for himself. He relies on service, and in these games we've not been creating chances anyway.
Because Liverpool have created chances this season. When you look at
in these home games recently, we haven't.
way, just to put it out there,
if you look at our games this
the second
season,
highest big chances created out of everyone behind
if
Manchester.
you look at our games this season, and I know Rams will back me up
in these home games against Fulham and these guys, we haven't been creating chances.
If you look at
maybe
our games this season, if you look at our games this season,
that's what we
I know
needed
Rams will back me up on this one. Yeah, we have created chances. Our problem has been goalless. It's Salah flopping or Mane hitting the ball over or Firmino fluffing his lines when he's clear. That's what's been our problem this season.
Or just Liverpool not turning up this whole season.
Of course, the whole team. But it's not the creativity because those three players haven't been scoring goals in vital moments, especially Firmino.
But I just don't think you can. I don't think there's any one player that's to blame in Liverpool. I think you've got a whole team to blame because you've had games where
I think the team just reached the end of its cycle.
For me, you should have been winning, but actually you've just been. There's no energy. There's no spark. There's no nothing.
Yeah.
It just seems dead, and that's not me being horrible.
Charles right.
No, but that's just down to their system not being able to.
No, but in these home games, the 6 home games we've lost recently. Like, we barely created anything in those matches. I've never felt like we're going to score in those games because we're not creating anything. And Charles right, I think this team personally has come to the end of its cycle, and it happens after maybe 3 years. Every team reaches the end of its cycle. It's very rare it goes beyond 3 years. Problem is, we're not evolving at the moment. That's what Klopp needs to do. He needs to evolve the team, get some new players in, and evolve the difference.
That is the difference between
Klopp's been found out, but he's not switching it up. He's not changing it up. He's not doing anything different. He's still doing the same Klopp stuff.
I think it's very difficult. I think it's very difficult to change up a system with a group of.
No, I disagree.
For me to change up a system.
Wait. Stop a second.
Look at what Lampard did. Lampard played the same system, which was there was no tactics, there was nothing. He wasn't man managing anything. He wasn't doing any tactics that were extremely clever. And you could predict the lineup when Lampard was there 3 weeks in advance. Tuchel coming in, can't predict the lineup. Man managing is absolutely on point, and we've switched it up. In the first game, you could see a difference. There's no excuse.
But I think when you look at Liverpool this season, hold on a second. When you look at Liverpool this season,
let's just hear O'Shea's excuse, and then we'll move on.
Excuse me. This guy, listen, Grandad. Let's not get into this, yeah. But look, when you look at Liverpool this season, we've tried to. I think there's been individual games where we've switched up different style of play and played a different formation. But I think when you look at the Lampard situation, it's very different because with Liverpool, we've had the same system instilled with this group of players for 4 seasons. With Lampard,
but wait, hang on a second. No, O'Shea, we've had conversations. You bought Thiago to change the system, right?
Yeah.
We did, and it's not worked. It's not worked. I think the onus for me, I think look, we can sit here and go around in circles. I've said many times the reason behind our failure this season has been FSG and lack of investment. I
disagree.
No,
I disagree.
Not
Brian,
not entirely.
School these people, man.
It is the reason. It is the reason. You can sit here and pick apart. No, listen. You can sit here and pick apart things that have been.
It's a combination of things. You can't blame all of your issues. You can't blame all of your issues on your owners. You can't do that. No,
you know why I can do that. You know why I can do that. I'll tell you why I can do that. Because I don't look at the problem now. I'm not looking at the problem now. I look at what could have been done to prevent it. If I've got a cut in my hand and I make it worse, fair enough, I've made it worse. But what could I have done to prevent the cut on my hand in the first place? Klopp has made a lot of mistakes this season. And so have a lot of individual players. Hang on a second. I mean, I just made a lot of mistakes, bro.
You're going, man. You're going.
Because I'm being real, bro. I'm being real about my club. I'm being real about my club.
Forget the Liverpool special. This is the O'Shea special. My goodness.
Now listen, I'm gonna jump in a second. I'm just look. Klopp has made a lot of mistakes. So have a lot of the players, but all of this could have been avoided completely had we have invested when we should have. We should have bought players after we won the Champions League. We didn't. We signed Minamino in January. We should have made more of an effort to sign Werner and other main targets. We didn't. We got Thiago on a cheap. that and other players and Samiskas. We should have replaced Lovren, and we didn't. Yes, in this season, there's been mistakes. Klopp not changing the system, being stubborn, players making silly mistakes. Yeah, of course. But before that ever happened, we could have made an effort to try and avoid this, and we didn't. And that is on FSG, because who else? Do you know what I'm saying? That's on FSG. Cockiness and arrogance.
Sure. Yeah. And every team goes through that. I mean, Indiana knows. Like, man, like that. I think that was probably one of Ferguson's biggest fatal flaws during that long run of his was not properly investing in the team going forward from year to year. Right, like the year that they dropped the title to City on the last day. The only difference in the team a year later was Robin van Persie, right?
Yeah.
And it worked. It worked. So he was right in that instance, but the team that he ended up leaving Moyes with was not a team that he necessarily could.
Oh, he knew he was done.
Yeah,
he knew he was done.
He's trying to get it. He's trying to get one more in before he rode off into the sunset. And I think for me, I'll be completely honest. As a Manchester United fan, I think that Liverpool have been incredibly unlucky this year with injuries. But it's on the back of, like, for over the most part, like really injury-less seasons. Like, yes, you lost Salah for a little bit of time, you lost Alisson for a little bit of time, but the rest of your core, the rest of your most influential players stayed intact and stayed healthy for the entirety of the season. Yeah. And so, like, you've rode your luck in that regard. And so if you want to blame the lack of investment, which led to kind of the overclocking of players' legs, then yeah, you can blame that on your owners. Or what? But my thing with Liverpool this season is it's almost like Klopp is like letting his team spiral a little bit, like he doesn't really know what to do. And I don't know if you can blame that on the owners. I also think with the changing of systems, I think we're just in an era of football now where systems are synonymous to managers, and managers aren't going to change their systems, right? Like for a manager to change their system, they kind of lose a bit of their identity. And if your identity brings you success, why would you switch it up? You know?
Yeah.
And I think there's a piece of it that way where maybe it's just stubbornness on the end of Klopp to be like, we're going to live and die this way. Maybe it's not working this year, but I can write off this season because of 8 or 9 reasons why things aren't going the way that they're supposed to be going, which has got to be frustrating to watch as a fan. But because at the end of the day, as fans, we want our team to win regardless of what's going on. And I feel like Liverpool should be strong enough to not go through the issues that they're going through. Like there's a legitimate chance that if Liverpool don't pick things up, that they could finish outside of Europe next season. That won't be good for anybody. And if you're worried about what FSG didn't do a year after you won the Champions League, imagine what they're not going to do for you if you finish outside of the Europa League places.
Yeah, I don't have many excuses.
Take into this stuff. There's so much context because you got to think about the financial sort of impact that a lot of clubs have gone through due to COVID and the pandemic.
Yeah,
you've got to look at the fact that they even wanted to take a loan. That Arsenal did that. You know, Arsenal, Tottenham, a lot of big Premier League, even big European teams have taken loans out just to kind of get by and help the operation.
Well, Arsenal took a loan out and paid off Ozil, pretty much, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's pretty much what they done.
Ozil, Kolasinac, Mustafi, the list goes on. And at this point, they're probably going to take another loan out to pay Aubameyang off. But and hopefully Willian, hopefully they pay Willian off as well whilst they're at it. But yeah, no, you've got to look at all that, man. And I think it's harsh that Klopp is getting this sort of slander. And FSG, yes, I get the perspective on there. But if you think about what they've done as a board in terms of the sort of corporate structure that they bought in, some of the deals these men have bought in, Solanke, what was it, like 40 million, Coutinho for 150 million. The deals that they've been getting done are just fucking ridiculous. You know, so you do have to give them credit where it's due, because if it wasn't for those kind of deals, you probably wouldn't have even won a Champions League and a Premier League. So you've got to balance it. But the unfortunate thing is, I don't think anyone could have predicted that FSG have done.
Go on, Ryan.
I think the good thing FSG have done is they have appointed the right people in terms of the board and the manager. You know, they have appointed the right people, and that's why they're able to get these Coutinho deals and these kind of deals done, because they have, in fairness to them, appointed the right people. It's just the fact that, will they give them the money to spend? That's the main thing about them. That's the main problem about them. But they have, I'll give them credit for pointing the right people in charge to run the club, essentially.
Which I think is half the battle. You got to get the right people in the right spots. I think that's half the battle, and I think they've done an excellent job at that, which is why I think it's a little strange that, and I know O'Shea's argument towards FSG has extended even prior to Liverpool winning the league. Yeah. So he's kind of exempt from that sticking point that I think a lot of fans have. But I think there has been an instance of yo-yoing from a lot of Liverpool fans where last year they were singing the praises of the team. They were singing the praises of Klopp. Their ownership is far better than any other teams in the Premier League, and that's why they ran away with it. And now all of a sudden the owners are the issue. So it's if the owners are the issue, the owners can't just be the issue one year and not the other. They're either the issue or they aren't. And if they're not the issue, then is the issue the manager? Is the issue the players? Is it a combination of a couple things? Is it COVID? Should we just not even count this season? There's all of those different things that go into it.
I think the hypocrisy from a lot of Liverpool fans comes from a place of not recognizing the problem. Because we won the Champions League and we were on a high and we were excited. A lot of Liverpool fans didn't see the issue. And I saw the issue. I saw it straight away when the transfer window ended after we won the Champions League and we didn't sign anybody. I saw that as a massive red flag because I thought, well, this club is only going to have another 2 years at best at this ability, and then we're going to have to start switching things up. Even if players are still performing at a world-class level, it comes a time when you need to switch things up, and we didn't. And when we signed Minamino in January, I just knew we need to win the league this season, or that's it. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Because
what does switching things up look like for you? Because
for me, switching things up is to change your formation. We do need to change formation, and I think to do that, we need to switch things up in midfield. Okay. We've been playing a very defensive midfielder, in my opinion. For the past 3 years, we've had two CDMs in Fabinho and Henderson, and Wijnaldum, who is a more attacking player, but it sort of forces him to stay back a bit. And for me, we should have invested in a number 10. We should have tried to sign Bruno Fernandes when we were linked to him and we played against him. I know he probably would never have come because he's a United fan, but we should have made more of a pub.
We won the Champions League, and our biggest signing was Harvey Elliott.
This is the thing, bro. Obviously, we probably would never have got Bruno Fernandes. He's a United fan at heart, but we should have made more of an effort to try and sign him because that's the type of player we need. We should have replaced centre backs. We should have bought, I think, a better backup forward than Origi. We've been linked to all these players and we didn't sign them, and for me, that's the biggest issue.
That is the big problem. I think when you. I've said this many times, and O'Shea, you said this before. Actually, you did say after the window, you were like, really, we should have been looking to move on a Mane or Salah and buy a marquee style player. And I think what Fergie was so good at, and I have to go back to Fergie because he was the best at it, was we would win a title, we would have great strikers, and you go out and buy a Berbatov, you go out and buy a Tevez, and okay, you got Jota, which is incredible. I think he's been outstanding for Liverpool.
Unlucky on the injury with that too.
Yeah, unlucky on the injury. But that's not enough. Off a Champions League and then a title, you have to go big. You have to go and get a top striker. You have to go and get a
or just any striker. Yeah.
No, well, no. Sonny, you were needing a centre back, right?
You could have had Werner.
I would have loved Werner. I would have loved.
Wow. Do you not think that strikers are being phased out of the game, though? Do you not think in the future we're going to start seeing these sort of deep lying strikers who are going to be more there to assist the winger?
I hope not.
And bring them as inside forwards.
There'll always be goal scorers.
That's what I'm starting to see a lot more of the bigger clubs doing.
The Liverpool number 9 shirt's about goals, man.
Rob, I just feel like when you look at how
over the last 4 years, I haven't been.
I just feel like when you look at how we perform behind the scenes, I don't feel like there's any drive to sign players. There's no urgency to sign players. Even if you look at last summer, we failed to sign our marquee left back. We wanted to sign Jamal Lewis, and we failed to sign him. Now, regardless of what people think of Jamal Lewis now, that's irrelevant. The point is,
Norwich done us dirty, to be fair.
But that's irrelevant though, because the point is we wanted to sign him and we failed to get him from a relegated
cheap,
team.
Man. Don't say Norwich did you dirty.
No. I agree. We should have got him.
That's right.
They still did.
O'Shea, this is.
They still did.
To be fair, this is something Chelsea fans don't understand. It's that not every club is going to go out.
I forgot who your owner is. Yeah.
It's like
don't be jealous.
Thing. Like they
I
got
am
Havertz
jealous
because no one else wanted him, so they were like, "Yeah,
Don't
we'll
be
pay
jealous,
80 mil."
'cause yeah, don't be jealous that our
What you mean, don't be jealous? Of course I'm jealous.
Yeah, I'm
I
jealous
was
too.
feeling, it's called sarcasm, Sonic. It's called
I
sarcasm.
will be
I don't
jealous.
have to look it up in the dictionary.
I
But
will
you
be
know,
jealous about that every
let me
day.
tell you now, like
Yeah, it's true.
I'm not
It's
gonna
true.
lie to you. Like we actually have like probably one of the best owners in the Premier League because he don't take shit. He'll open his checkbook if he wants it. And unfortunately, you know,
I hope he gets deported.
if you're
I hope he
looking
gets
at how
deported back to Russia.
he's already not allowed back in the country. He's not allowed back in the country
Roman.
already.
I
He's
hope
not
he gets
allowed back in
drafted
the country
to the
already,
Russian
but he's
military.
still spending 260 million, and he won't.
Bro.
And you know what? He won't ever get drafted for that because he owns
The
3/4
military.
of Russia's oil. He
You know what I
owns
hope happens?
3/4 of Russia's
You know what I
oil.
hope happens to your beloved owner? I hope, I hope he ends up going to Russia and does some madness over there and gets put in a prison. And you guys end up getting bought by my
O'Shea,
cash.
man, you're a savage.
O'Shea, it's
You
your,
really are bitter.
O'Shea,
You
it's
really
your
are a
owners.
bitter Liverpool fan.
Is your owners likely to be put in prison because they probably don't pay their taxes? So you know what I mean. So that's probably where they're going.
That's fine. I'll just.
Yeah, but that's half of the business.
I wish United had an owner that would spend 350 million for a manager he gets rid of 9 months later. I would love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
All 400 million.
I would.
Yeah, you're gonna give me how many players, and I'm gonna do a terrible job.
No, do you know how bad it is? Do you know how bad it is? They go out, they buy Timo Werner. Chelsea fans give it the gas. You don't understand what a good player is. Blah blah blah. Right? He's doing the tiny thing right now.
Yeah.
Can't score a goal.
Yeah, Tiny Tim.
So
yeah.
so then the owner is like, oh, we'll just throw loads of money at Haaland then.
Yeah, literally. He just doesn't care.
Just to clarify, this is the one thing I disagree with. It's the one thing I will disagree with is that I think we should get Kane instead of Haaland. And that's the only thing I'm going to disagree with.
What a nice debate to have. I'm trying to argue over about Patson Dak and someone who I can't even pronounce.
Sorry, bruv. You've got an Arsenal fan here, bruv. We're debating whether Nketiah or Balogun should be playing.
I've had enough.
I don't want my manager to get Haaland. I want Kane.
Guys, we suffer as well.
I'd be there, really.
We suffer as well. Did you not see Werner's miss against Germany? Did you not see that miss against Germany?
Werner's not a clinical fan. He never was.
You get.
Your suffering is very, very different, right?
So you're
suffering.
How are we going to get
Suffering for normal, everyday people, like in life, is thinking about bills and putting food on the table. Your suffering is a 19-year-old girl whose daddy has just stopped the credit card.
Exactly.
That's your suffering.
That would be so awful.
That's where you are. There's a different type of suffering. You still got your bills paid for, right? You still got your phone paid
I feel
for.
sorry.
Nice
I
car.
feel sorry for the 19-year-old girl. Bless her soul. Like that's horrible. I feel sorry for her.
That's what I'm saying. It's a different problem.
Our suffering is basically daddy bought us the wrong color car.
Yeah, exactly.
Prime, you're a top guy. Why are you saying our suffering? Like you,
What a dickhead, innit?
I know. How can he buy me the wrong
I don't
color?
know if that applies to
I'm
Spurs
not
as
even
well.
happy.
How can you buy the wrong colour? Come on, man. That's not on.
Well,
Now, but
Chelsea don't look at what they buy.
Arsenal fans have to suffer about, whether Nketiah
It's all right. Arsenal still do their catalogue payments over 36 weeks, so it's fine.
Buying Timo Werner is like buying the wrong colour.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But Werner will be
the way Arsenal suffer is on a different level, bro. I don't even think we can. That would have to be a whole show talking about Arsenal suffering as a club. Like that's
our manager would actually make Timo Werner work.
a different ball game.
I know.
Just decline,
no.
bro.
That's just no.
Why is it no?
You can't make Firmino
because
work, so
I don't think it makes. If you get to the goal and the goal's open and the ball's at your feet and you put it wider over the bar, I don't think that's anything to do with coaching or a
Timo Werner.
No, that's to do with
confidence thing. Yeah, it's a confidence thing.
Indiana, do you remember the Mike Bassett film?
Yeah.
The England manager. Werner's like the striker for England. You know, he just gets in front of goal and then boots it 12 yards wide.
Yeah, he reminds me of the John Smith's advert.
Why is everyone so surprised?
And the guy just shouts have it and boots it in the air.
Boots it in the guy.
Have
I'm going to genuinely ask, right? So why is everyone so surprised? Because Werner was never clinical.
I'm thinking
even in the Bundesliga, like
he wasn't this bad. He wasn't this bad.
I mean, he at least scored. Oh, he was.
Hold on.
He was great. He at least scored sometimes.
Every chance that falls at his feet.
But he scored like 40 goals last season.
Yeah, he was.
No. But the thing is, though, he also have you seen how many chances he also missed?
No, but 40 goals.
But he missed a lot.
Because I judge all of my players based off of YouTube compilations. So they never miss.
Yeah, same here, bro.
To be honest,
they never miss. Yeah.
I mean, we just dream of them. We just dream of the players we could get.
Yeah, Arsenal's the worst for that. We have welcome videos to players who haven't even signed yet. Like, what you want about?
Do we think this is true? A back three. If you get Konate, Klopp will have a back three system.
No, we need a midfield.
Do you think that's going to happen?
Your fullbacks are too important to your system. You'd actually.
Has he ever played a back three?
Yeah, he has.
Fullbacks are too, right? He values his fullbacks too much.
Ram, talk us through the back three. When was this?
Because I don't want to talk about back three.
It is possible though, because Alexander Arnold's not great defensively, and Robertson plays.
He doesn't have to be.
No, but. He does this season because he's been awful. But
they're missing like 17 centre backs.
Robertson plays left wing back for Scotland, and he does a decent job there as well. I know Scotland's different level, but both of those fullbacks shouldn't be. You know, they can play other positions as well, so they could play a back three. It's possible.
You forget that Fabinho is like a sweeper.
No, I don't think it'll happen, but it's possible that it could happen.
No, I'm saying it can happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think
it won't happen.
Most likely to go down to a 4-2-3-1. Honestly,
we've kind of gone slightly off.
Get all of our best players back and still use the same formation that we played, because at the time when we had our best players, it wasn't broken.
Depends what he does. Depends what his plans are for Thiago up in average.
You got battered 7-2. Yes, it was.
We were top of the league when we had our strongest team.
And you got battered 7-2. It was broken.
And we were still top of the league.
This is the issue.
And how many games into the season was that?
This is like denial, bro. We have been declining since the back end of last season, bro.
Yes.
Van Dijk wasn't injured when we got slapped by Arsenal twice.
Yeah.
When we got slapped by City after we won the league, and when we nearly got slapped by Leeds and allowed them to get 3 goals past us.
Yeah,
Van Dijk wasn't injured when we got slapped by Villa 7-2, bro. So all of this injuries is ridiculous, because all throughout those matches we've had our best players, bro. So
I think you just got a bit complacent as well. Like start of the season, it was very much like we've done the Champions League, we've done the Premier League, and it's about getting that fire in your belly again. Listen, people, please smash the like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, share the stream on your socials if you can. Appreciate your being here. We will get to some more comments. Can't get any more people in because there's 10 of us in here, so it is what it is. I'm afraid.
Ben Davies isn't real, by the way. He's just a picture.
You know where he is.
What did you just say, Sonny?
Ben Davies is
real in my heart. He's really
says Ben Davis, who was owning you at Anfield maybe a few weeks ago. Don't even come talk to me like.
What are you on about? No, they're on about.
I mean, Ben Davis from Swansea. They signed.
Preston
oh shit!
Yeah, the fake.
To be fair though, he probably would be owning your team right now. To be honest.
Well, he doesn't get in our team, so it must be bad.
No, he doesn't get on your team because he'd be owning your team.
He doesn't even get on the training pitch. He must be awful.
He's injured, apparently. He's got a knee injury.
I doubt he even is injured. I bet he's just sitting we signed a centre back.
Wait, how are you even going to wait? How is this guy going to say that about Kieran Tierney? Like Robertson's worst season yet. Liverpool say that he's been their best player and stuff. How are you going to say
he was up till January.
No, Robertson's had a bad season, but you realise that Kieran Tierney is younger and can grow to be a better player than Robertson. Right?
Oh, yeah, he's got.
I completely agree, but that's not what Arsenal fans are saying. Arsenal fans are saying Tierney's better than Robertson.
No,
they are saying that.
You can say Tierney's got a higher ceiling than Robertson, but he's never going to reach that ceiling. he's never going to have a season like Robertson did last
I
year.
don't agree.
How do you know? O'Shea, how do you know you're not going to
He could have a better season though.
Nah, I don't see that. I can see Reece James potentially having as good seasons, if not better than Trent, because of his all-round game.
Reece
But
James,
I can't see Tierney. He'd be good. He'll be solid, but he won't reach that level of like Robertson, of where you're getting assists and defending. He's not going to reach that level.
He'd have more assists if we had a better striker. I know you guys don't have a great striker either, but your wingers are world class, as aren't. So
I mean, they're wingers. They're wingers. Let's be honest. Their wingers are their strikers. Firmino is just like a placeholder.
But we don't have a good striker.
I clocked this as a put him in the 11.
Surely it would be harder for Robertson to get assists because if he gets an assist, it has to be a pinpoint cross because Salah and Mane aren't really that tall.
Yeah, but we've got the same.
You don't have to be tall when it gets to your feet.
Like I said, it's a better striker than Firmino, though.
But Robertson doesn't rarely cross it into the box on the ground. He crosses it.
Fair. Now look at how many even Scotland fans prefer my guy.
Lauren's on this whole bandwagon as well, man. Why is it?
Hang on. Just to let you know, we on the Liverpool podcast for the Football Terrace, we actually got a Scotsman, and he says Robertson's better.
Yeah, but is he a Liverpool fan?
But he's Scott.
He's a Scotland fan.
Yeah, but he's a Liverpool fan, though, isn't he?
He's a Scotland fan.
He's a Scot.
No, but he's a Liverpool
Scotland fan than
go and get a Scotland fan who doesn't support a Premier League team.
I don't believe that. Listen, I'm English. I live in England. I'm not more of an England fan than I am a Man United fan. I'm a Man United fan. I hardly watch England.
I don't care. He's a Scot. He's watched them in week out, and even though he rates Kieran Tierney,
listen, let's ask. You're the person to ask. Bits and Bobs is the person to ask, man.
Who does he support?
Man United fan.
No, who's the guy you're talking about? Who does he support?
Conroy.
Liverpool.
Who does he
supports Liverpool?
So ask someone who's unbiased in this.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't ask a Rangers fan though. You ask a Rangers fan, you're going to get the same answer.
Bobs hates Liverpool.
Rangers fans hate Tierney, so don't even.
Yeah, but he hates Arsenal as well. He's a Man
United. He really hates
Liverpool.
Liverpool. He really hates Liverpool.
I do know Bobs. I know he hates Arsenal as well.
He really hates Liverpool.
I know he hates Liverpool. Nah, he will do. Me and Bobs are the same age, man. He will. He will. Trust me, he won't hate Arsenal as well.
I have heard he picked up a knee injury as soon as he went onto the training pitch.
Well, if you believe that Ben Davies is real, that's down to you.
So this is how stupid it is.
Let's move away from Fraud Watch slightly, and because it's Liverpool, I want to talk about realistic targets for Liverpool. What everybody thinks Liverpool needs. So, let's start with Chris Wood. Do you know what? Chris Wood ain't a bad shout, really.
Who said Chris Wood?
He's
not
a great
Go and get McGoldrick.
It was Charlotte. She said it.
Let's start with Sonny. Sonny, what do Liverpool need, and what are realistic targets?
A striker.
Chris Wood.
Who's a realistic target?
Well, if I'm gonna be impacted by our owners, it's gonna be Patson Daka.
Don't say that.
What do you mean? Don't say that.
I don't want to hear his name.
I don't want to hear his name either. But if I'm gonna do what's realistic, it's Patson Daka.
You could name anyone else, but not him.
No, but I don't want to hear Patson Daka either. But if I'm being realistic, it's Patson Daka.
Look, I have nothing against Patson Daka.
I do.
He'll be a good player. He'll be a good replacement for Rodrigo. I don't want.
Wait, you don't think you can get Aguero?
No, because that's almost as bad as Patson Daka. He wouldn't even be playing.
True.
Aguero
I would be chilling in the hospital.
No, I don't mean we wouldn't pick him. I mean he wouldn't be fit.
Yeah.
To be fair, he has put on some weight.
He'd be watching all the games.
I mean, you are moving into that injury list. You know, how long can you get that injury list? So might be good for you.
So wait, before I go through everyone, is everybody saying that Liverpool's first priority should be a striker?
After actually, yes, yes.
No.
Different opinions.
No, I don't.
Okay, what's our first priority?
Centre back.
So you're so knowledgeable.
Yeah,
you don't
realise how bad Firmino is.
Do you not really buys?
I wouldn't say he's bad.
Do you not realise?
I'd say Gunn. You need a.
But do you know
put him at 10. Put him at 10.
Who's that guy at the back?
That's a good shout.
Who's that Cabbage guy at the back you've got?
Kabak.
Oh, sorry, Kabak.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so you're lucky. You're lucky you've only got him on loan, man.
Yeah,
No, but he's
Yeah,
playing
but-
for Turkey though.
he's a wrestler, man.
He has
He's
been good the
trying
last
to do a
couple of
Roman
weeks.
Reigns
He's
spear.
a wrestler.
No,
I'm
to be fair,
sorry.
he's been-
Have
he
you?
looks his
I'm
best.
sorry. Did you not see him try and spear your bloody goalkeeper?
He looks a little bit like
He
Roman
Hang on,
tried
Reigns as
to
well,
hang on.
spear
Hang on.
him.
Isn't your
technically
sense about
that's Alisson's fault.
Christensen?
That's
Yeah, he's
Alisson's
better than
fault.
Cabbage. He's better than Cabbage.
Well, Christensen almost
Yeah,
took
yeah.
out Mane.
Yeah,
Good.
exactly.
What's that
He
got to
did
do
you
with
a
it?
favour.
Yeah,
He
they're
did
talking
you a
about
favour.
rugby players or
Mane's
whatever.
been terrible.
I'm not talking about rugby. I'm talking about wrestlers.
All right,
Hon.
well,
There's a difference.
Christensen still
No.
applies.
No, I'm
What?
not.
Wait,
Christensen's
I don't
better than
understand this.
Kabak right now. Christensen is better than Kabak right now.
Yeah,
Kabak's
because he
like
plays in the
rubbish.
All right. Well, let me
Wait,
use
are we-
your excuse.
hang on a
You're in a
second.
better
Hang on a
team.
second. Are we saying that if Liverpool get that's all they need, a striker? Because I'm sure they need
No,
a
no.
That's what I'm saying to you.
No.
What are the
No, can you
priorities?
stop
Yeah, they need a
I know
cam. They
what
need a
you're
cam.
doing.
Is Danny Ings
Bro,
and
Centre
that
back,
cam.
midfield,
Indiana,
striker.
stop it. I know what you're doing. Stop it.
What am I
You need
doing,
surgery,
man?
bro? You need open heart surgery.
You're
on
trying
that
to
team.
goad us into something, and we don't want to go in that path. We want to take our own path. Go away.
What?
You're on his channel. He's asking you a question, man. Give him an
All right,
answer.
come on, then,
No,
Ram.
Cam.
What do you
Cam,
need?
innit?
So right,
Chris
I got my targets in mind as well.
Yeah, realistic ramps, please. Realistic.
Realistic, okay, realistic.
And you can't go back in time either.
Who are your targets then, Ram?
Can't go back in time either, Rams. Okay.
Okay, fine. Okay,
Realistic targets.
fine. Okay, we need.
And if you talk about Matty Cash, I'm kicking you off the stream, man.
You can't say.
Allow.
Can't say
To be
Maldini.
fair,
either.
to be fair, he should
Yeah.
be in England squad. That's the
Can't say
thing.
Maldini.
Right,
All right,
Mark
bye.
Phillips should be in the
Someone
England
else?
squad.
Okay,
No, my
okay.
gosh.
Let me say the team. Okay, fine. I personally think we need 6 players.
Okay.
So the players are ideally for myself. It would be Roberto Neto from Barcelona, Sergio Roberto as the backup goalkeeper, Sergio Roberto as that utility player to cover Milner's, so he could play right back, left back, centre mid.
Good shout.
Either Marcel Sabitzer or Dani Olmo from RB Leipzig as to cover for Wijnaldum, and plus they can play right wing or left wing respectively. We're not going to get Haaland or anyone like that, so I think we're going to realistically.
Just say
other than
Patson Daka. Just say it.
Other than Patson Daka, I think the boy from Benfica, Darwin Nunez.
Darwin Nunez is amazing.
He's a baller.
He looks very
Oh,
good.
he's amazing.
I'd take him.
Daniel Marlin. If anyone
Marlon
know
might
him.
be a good option because also he could play. I like him. He's
No,
versatile. He plays left wing, right wing,
Buadu's
striker.
probably better than
But,
Marlon.
Yeah, could be also Marlon.
Ram's
and
excited
also
about this one.
Another striker, maybe Chewy Suarez as well.
No, not that
Steven
scumbag.
Suarez. Hold on.
Yeah,
come back
just
for
for another
80 million
season.
as a steal.
For the settling in, so because Uruguayans, Darwin Nunez, Luis Suarez, Uruguayans, settling in.
Suarez isn't even good enough anymore anyway.
Yeah, Suarez.
He'd be good backup, innit?
Have you not seen?
Who's the starting one?
Wait, I know Madrid.
Firmino's still there, so
but have you not
Firmino's
seen him
start.
for Atletico Madrid? Have you not seen the amount of goals he's getting?
I don't
Yeah,
think
do you not see him
better
as
than
prime-
Firmino.
he would
Hang
do
on,
better than
have you not seen
Firmino,
him
but we
climb
need
out
a
of
lot better than
Rudiger's-
Firmino.
You not seen him climbing out of Rudiger's pockets and getting taken off in the hour?
Oh yeah, and Velv,
Velv.
I see your comment on Jeremy Doku. He's not going to be leaving anytime
The
soon.
man's turning.
not
He's
leaving
look.
anytime
He was a
soon.
rat, and he's looking like a rat every day he gets older, man. Suarez is done. He's done.
Nah, he ain't done. He ain't
He's,
done.
he's put on weight as well.
Yeah, on his
man.
teeth.
That's injuries though.
No,
innit?
but
He
think
was-
about it. I listed out about 3 strikers: Nunez, Marlon.
That's what I'm saying.
and-
I'm presuming what you're saying is not as a starter, but to bring in every now and then when
Yeah.
Nunez and
We
that.
need a
that makes
starter, though.
sense.
No,
So
but
you
as a
wouldn't-
person to
alongside
help
a
the
Nunez or
youngsters
a
as
Daka,
well.
yeah.
So you
Four
wouldn't.
goals.
So you wouldn't start then 26-year-old Diogo Jota instead.
No, but he's not a striker.
He's a winger.
He can
But
be.
he can do a job there.
No,
though.
he can be, but for a full season, I don't trust that.
Oh, but that's not the point. I'm not playing.
Yeah,
him for
Sonny's
full
looking
season.
for a striker that starts day one in the Premier League, aren't you, Sonny?
Yeah.
Looking
I
for
think
day
it's very
one.
hard to find one.
Well, yeah,
I can't
Chelsea
think of
fans thought
anyone
they got
that's
that with Werner,
of
and that
the
didn't
level.
happen. So
Alright.
it's a massive gamble, isn't it?
Other than Lewandowski, but we ain't getting Levy. We ain't getting Levy.
No one's getting
No,
Lewandowski.
You're not getting his shoelaces.
Do you know, right? There's an Arsenal target that I want to throw at you, Shrike. What about Edward?
Oh my
No,
god.
that's
Oh,
a shout.
Edward's a good
That's a
player.
shout.
Edward's a
That's
good
a shout.
player.
Edward's good. Edward's
He's
good.
going Leicester,
But I
though, man.
don't
He's
know
going
whether
Leicester.
Liverpool are going to be looking
I hate
into
these
him.
Why
names.
do you
Maybe
could buy
we
Ian
will.
Nacho then, isn't it?
Can
He's
I
going
just
Leicester.
ask something? If you guys make if you guys don't even make Europa Conference League, which I predict you won't, how are you supposed to get these players?
Well,
like, I'm not being funny. I'm being
and
serious.
and that's why. That's why Charlotte said Chris Wood. Like that's why she said Chris Wood earlier.
Liverpool are bottling stuff. Like, to me, if you look at Liverpool in the Premier League compared to Liverpool in the Champions League, there's a difference. Meaning your team's a light switch team. You can switch it on and off, which means you're not switching it on in the Premier League. That's my problem with Liverpool. Right? No, hold on. I'm not done yet. Just to clarify something, like, you guys are a flip-flop team. Like, you can flip it on in the not in the Premier League, but in Champions League, you're a different team.
That's unfair. We've only played one team.
No, I'm sorry. No, we're not gonna have this discussion. We're not gonna have this discussion.
That's why I picked players that are.
But you're not gonna get anyone from Barcelona or anyone else.
No.
That's why I didn't. I said the likes of Sergio Roberto and Roberto.
People you're going to have to look at is people from Swansea. You're going to have to look at Swansea. Let me tell you now.
I'm
sorry. If you don't make it to the Europa Conference League, you might as well just get ready.
You're forgetting about the players you're going to be staying. Do you not realise how big of a pull power that is, as well as the manager?
You realise as well, the likes of Sergio Roberto.
I don't think you're going to make Europa Conference League. I don't think you guys are going to make Europa Conference League.
That's hypothetical, then. That's hypothetical.
Well, no, it's not. It's what I believe I've said since like halfway through the season.
What position do you need to get Europa Conference? Because I completely keep forgetting about this shit.
Seventh.
I never know it existed till
exactly seventh.
I don't even think it opens.
This is what I see it. Arsenal will finish 7th and Liverpool will finish 8th.
Okay, Charlotte,
this is a very good question.
Hang on. Tell me something. The players that I listed up for you, they are listed because they are in different circumstances where Liverpool may be a more fruitful option than the places that they are right now. For example, Darwin Núñez plays for a side that doesn't utilize his strengths. They play a very defensive system that doesn't cater to any of their attacking players. I spoke about Daniel Marlon. Marlon wants to take that move up, and Liverpool from PSV Eindhoven is that move up.
Massive move up.
I'm giving options that are realistic for us.
No, I get that completely, but I'm not gonna lie. But if you get to the point where you're not even making Europa Conference League and you actually haven't been able to defend your Premier League title, which you haven't, your Premier League title hope's already over. Like, for me, Man City.
There's also legacy as well. You need to think of legacy.
For me, Man City are already champions this season. As for if you don't make Conference League, I think you're going to have a real big problem with actually wanting.
But don't you think the players understand the normality?
No. But what I'm trying to say is that if you're trying to get players, if you're trying to get players to your team, winning something or actually getting into like a league, like Europa League, Conference League, or Champions League, actually gets players to that. It like appeals to them. If you're not getting into the Conference League, if you're not getting to the Champions League, if you're not winning the Premier League, because you're not going to win a title if that's the case, if you don't make you Conference League and you don't win Champions League, you're not going to win a title. So why? Why are players going to come to you? Why is it going to be appealing for a football player?
You're forgetting that we are Liverpool. You're forgetting that it's Liverpool. Like,
oh my God, I'm forgetting that it's Liverpool and you haven't turned up all season. And you've been shit. And you've actually turned up in the Champions League. And you've not turned up. And you've not turned up in any other league but the Champions League.
I just want to point out.
No, hold on. The champions, the Premier League champions, have got to the point where they only have one route, and that's to win the Champions League to actually win anything. They've got to the point where the only way for them to get Champions League is to actually win the Champions League. That's how poor Liverpool have been. So don't come at me and say, "Oh, it's Liverpool." You've been shit. End of discussion.
When you guys finished 10th, you still attracted big names, didn't you? From the likes of PSG.
Who
like
did we
you
sign? Who did we
attracted
sign was
N'Golo
a big
Kante
name?
from Arsenal,
we
who were
I
Champions
think
League.
We signed
Liverpool
Partey
still
and
a more
Aubameyang in the
attractive
Europa
club
League.
than Chelsea, if I'm
Rams, who
honest.
did we sign that season was a
In
big
terms
name?
of history.
N'Golo Kante, you stole him from the likes of City and Arsenal. You signed.
N'Golo Kante at that time was not a big name.
City weren't.
No, but he was
say that.
still.
Hold on.
Arsenal was still
Hold
winning
on.
it. And they were a Champions
City-
League team.
City-
But
hold
from
on.
Charlotte's logic. No, hang
Let
on,
Prime
let me
speak.
finish.
Let Prime speak.
City didn't want him. It was only Arsenal, really, and even then, Arsenal weren't willing to pay the money. If they were willing to pay, he would have went to Arsenal.
But we wanted Granit Xhaka.
We got David Luiz back, but that whole David Luiz going to PSG and then coming back was a dodgy deal, anyways. We wanted Alexandro. We didn't get him. We ended up buying Marcus Alonso, so we didn't buy any big names that summer.
Yep.
Okay, fine. Well, that's your opinion.
The biggest one is
from my view. I didn't give out any big names. Did I give out any big names? Marlon ain't a big name.
No, exactly.
Nunez ain't a big name.
You say you
talking
can't buy
in terms of
players from
Charlotte's
Barcelona. No, but you see, you can't buy players from Barcelona. But Sergio Roberto and Neto are realistic signings because Neto wants to play first team football. He said that, and Roberto's been pushed out by a 19-year-old Serginho Dest. So both of those targets are realistic for any
I wouldn't
team
say
in
he's
the
been
Premier League.
pushed out. It's actually through injury because Sergio Roberto was actually been injured.
Dest is not getting pushed out that team right now. So in a sense, Roberto's been pushed out by injury, but he's not getting back in that team.
I also want to point out that the whole Liverpool has pull thing. I remember Liverpool fans really giving Manchester United fans a lot of crap when they were going through some really difficult things and saying that. And the reality is that while Manchester United signed Ibrahimovic and Pogba and Di Maria, but like that was really early on. Like if Manchester United would have finished outside the top four now, that would not happen. It would not happen. We wouldn't sign players like that. And so I think that Liverpool, if they realistically, if they do go from first to eighth, you are going to have a hard time signing some players. Some like, and you can sit there, you can say, well, Darwin Nunez isn't a big name, or Marlon's not a big name, but you might have to put out more money than you would otherwise had you finished inside the top four, which might hinder you from signing 5-6 players if you were to try to go after those types of guys. So I don't know if the Liverpool having pull thing is going to really matter as much if you do end up having that poor of a season. I don't know if it will. I don't think that's a good enough.
One thing I do want to add: a lot of players are now buying into plans that the managers have, or the sort of you can say the process that managers giving out. Because Partey actually only signed for Arsenal because he's seen what Arteta wanted to do at Arsenal. So the realistic thing is Liverpool just need to have a clear plan. They need to have a clear plan. They need to talk to They need to talk to these players and say, look, this is how we plan to get back in, and this is why we need you.
Partey didn't sign because of Arteta. Like Partey being and he was one of the best defensive midfielders in the world. I'm not going to go to the extent of better than Kimmich because that's not true.
Until he turned up at Arsenal.
But the point. No, but he's been injured, so he's been a flop. I've said that, but he's not a bad player. He's no. He's not. No, you
I'm sorry. When Eden Hazard got injured, he was never an excuse for us.
Let me finish. Partey has been a flop. I'm not using excuses, but I'm saying he's been injured. So to say that he's a worse player or that he's a bad player is wrong because he isn't. But the point with Partey is he joined because he wanted to play in the Premier League. And Arsenal were one of the only teams who were willing to do that. So he joined us. If he had the choice between us and Man United, he's going Man United because they're doing better.
Yeah, but you're going to say that Atletico Madrid, though.
No, but the point with Daniel Marlon and all these kind of players is if their only route into the Premier League is Liverpool, they'll take that. So Liverpool have that added advantage that
but that's different, though. That's completely different. Coming from PSV or Atletico Madrid, though.
Atletico
Madrid are one of the biggest European teams right now. They're not.
Let's be realistic. When Partey's playing, he hasn't lived up to his actual.
I just said
what
that.
I've seen. No. But what I'm saying is, just because he's had an injury doesn't mean anything to me. Like, it really doesn't. An injury is an injury. Every player gets it. Like, eventually they'll have one in their lifetime. There's not an excuse. For me, you can't be like, oh, he's got an injury. That's why. He just hasn't turned up. Like, he genuinely hasn't.
And I've said that.
He's not a bad player. But my bigger argument is like the language you're using, right? Like it's like if Liverpool finish in 8th, it is a if the only route into the Premier League is through Liverpool, then they will go. Versus if Liverpool finish in the top 4, even win it, if Liverpool come calling, I will leave. Like that's the difference. Like so,
didn't Man United sign Pogba when they were in the Europa League?
They did, but it's a little bit of a different circumstance in that, regardless. But yes,
that's just the point that I'm trying to say. Like, we are Liverpool. That's a massive name. Like, people keep underestimating
it. It is. I'm not disagreeing with you. I do think that there's an instance though where if a player thinks to themselves, well, if we as fans believe that players value Champions League football as much as we like to think that they do, and you have a better chance at playing in the Champions League staying somewhere than you do going somewhere else, then they have to weigh up if moving is really what they want to do. And then if they want to move, is a team that is the only team looking at them, a team that they want to move to. So like it takes a perfect storm sometimes for like a Darwin Nunez. If Darwin Nunez has a better chance of playing in the Champions League at Benfica than he does at Liverpool, then he can't do it very well. He does if they're in it and Liverpool's not.
No, but they're not. No, but they're not in it. They're not. They're fourth.
Okay. Well, great. Well, then you'll sign Darwin Nunez then. Well,
exactly.
But if you want him, but that's the thing is like for some of these players, it's like a perfect storm. Do they want to leave, and do they want to leave to that team? That's the hard part.
It's still sad that we're speaking about these players. Liverpool's name should automatically be next to Erling Haaland, but it's not.
Well, yeah. Well, I agree.
Hold on, Sonny. Why should he be next to Erling Haaland?
What do you mean, why, Prime?
No, that's not a stupid question. Just answer why.
What do you mean? Because we're Liverpool. There's no reason. The biggest club in England.
So you're telling me based on history?
Who is?
Oh, Indiana, we're not getting into this debate. I've already had this debate with you.
No, who's the biggest club in England?
Liverpool.
Don't let him trigger you. I have a point. Don't let him trigger you. I have a
30 years for a Premier League. 30 years for a Premier League.
6 European Cups.
Don't let anyone trigger you. So based on history, Arsenal should also be in that conversation also, but they don't.
No, hang on. Are you just forgetting about the last 5 years as well?
Sonny.
No, Prime. We do have polls.
Everyone, shut up. Thank you. But the reason why you're not in that conversation is because you won't pay that money for him. So you're not. I'm not finished. So you're not an attractive opposition or option to go to. So you're not in the running for him. So there's no reason why.
The only reason we wouldn't go for Haaland is because the money. There's nothing else.
So you're not in. So you shouldn't be.
No, that's not the point. No, the reason why we won't go in for him because our owners won't give us the money to buy him.
Exactly.
You don't. So that's the point I'm making. So you shouldn't be in the running for him.
No, Prime. I didn't even say that. I said Liverpool. The name should be right next to Haaland in any situation.
I've given you the reason.
That's a good point. Danny makes a great point here.
Yes, I was just about to say Liverpool got to where they are right now because they signed players that had a huge ceiling and they developed them.
And Jurgen Klopp's a manager.
Like you signed Van Dijk when he had a huge ceiling. You signed Salah when he had a huge ceiling. You signed Mane when he had a huge ceiling. You signed Wijnaldum when he had a huge ceiling. Why not keep along that trend instead?
No. I'll tell you why not keep along that trend. I'll tell you exactly why not.
Do you know what's great about that? I'll give you a good example. When we, in the mid 2000s, when we were building ourselves up, we were signing up and coming players like Xabi Alonso. Luis Garcia was an up and coming player. Then we started to go in for the big players. So Dirk Kuyt was one of the most sought out Dutch forwards in the world because he scored about 40 goals in one season, which is stupid. And then we went out to get Fernando Torres.
No, he wasn't, man.
Yes, he was not. No, he was. Went to Sturford. He was.
You were the only club. Linked to him. Don't test me, this, man. Because I was. Don't test me on that, right?
No,
Rams. You're too young. You're too young to remember this. Okay. No, he wasn't. Liverpool were the only club interested in Dirk Kuyt for all of Europe that summer. Okay. None of the Spanish teams were. None of the Italian teams were. None of the German teams were. You're the only English club in there for him. If he was so sought after, Chelsea would have bought him.
So what about Fernando Torres? What about Fernando Torres?
Fernando Torres.
You can't talk anything about Fernando Torres because
No,
Chelsea
I can't
were
talk
after
anything
him.
about Fernando Torres. There's always.
That's the point. That's the point I'm making. We need to stop going in for the up and coming players and now elevate our expectations to the here and now.
Yes, you do. You're right.
And that's
You're
what we
absolutely
did
right.
in the past when we were elevating ourselves and we got to that point.
You didn't really. No, he's right. You haven't really signed any.
He's right.
Because once we went to that point and dropped off, we didn't sign the up and coming players.
Can we go back to the point anyway? Can we go back to that point?
Right.
Made superstars.
But you were able to sign. Like despite Van Dijk not being like a world-class superstar at that time, he was a like one of the better center backs in the Premier League at that point. So like you did sign like a top quality, like high caliber player in that regard. Same with
Alisson.
Well, same thing with Alisson and Fabinho. I was just about to say. So like, but if you finish in 8th, won't you realistically have to kind of go back to looking at those types of players again instead of looking at the superstars, because the superstars might not be looking at you?
That's my point. That's my point. That's why I gave all the names that I gave out.
Yeah.
But he did.
Yeah.
He didn't give
I know. I know.
Yeah, right. He's right.
But the whole point that we're making is that Liverpool, the football club, the prestige, should not be concerned about money. That's our point. Players should be attracted to Liverpool Football Club. If we had money, if say we were going in, say we had like an ejection of £200 million, we would be one of the attractive prospects for Erling Haaland because we are Liverpool Football Club and we will pay you the money.
But my point with that is you don't have the money, so your name alone.
But you're
Right,
diverting
we know we're not next
You're
to Haaland.
diverting
That's who
our
we
point.
should be.
That's not the point we're making. The point we're making, the club that are the size of Liverpool Football Club should be going for these players, and that should be of the esteem of Barcelona.
My point is, your name alone doesn't mean anything solely.
Yeah, not anymore. Not in the modern game.
You're saying a completely different point to us.
Let me finish. You guys are even agreeing in saying that we're not going to spend the money to buy them. So
the points are linked.
My point in that your name alone.
But our points may be intertwined, but they're not substantiated next to each other.
Stop. Whether it be Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal, whoever, your name alone, without the money to back it up to get these Haaland or Mbappe or whoever, it doesn't mean anything. So saying we're Liverpool Football Club, we should be linked. We're Man United, we should be linked. If you're not going to spend the money to
Prime, that's what we're saying. We know we're not next to them. We're saying we should be.
That proves my point in saying you should not be, because your name alone doesn't mean anything.
But in a sense they're right though. In a sense they're right. As an Arsenal fan, for example, another one of the biggest clubs in England that have fallen, I feel that we should be going for the likes of Haaland and Mbappe, but because of our owners and the way that they've ruined us as a club, it goes back to them, as you can also argue that it does for Liverpool. That the owners they're not good enough to run a club to succeed in the likes of Chelsea and City, that we aren't in for these kind of players. Because as an Arsenal fan, I don't want to be sat here going after the likes of Ødegaard when the likes of Grealish are sat on the market and the likes of Haaland are also there. But we have to, that's our expectations now.
As a Man United fan, I feel I do feel your pain. I do get that. But Danny makes.
Come on, Indiana. Come on, Indiana. Fred is amazing.
We don't spend our money in the right place, man. It's crazy. This whole thing about spending money drives me crazy. When rival fans are like, "You spent all this money," I'm like, "Yeah, but look where we fucking spent it, man."
Yeah, you spent it shit.
We spent it on Fred.
We have as well.
Oh, hey,
my God.
Hey, Fred is amazing. All right.
Fred is from Macclesfield.
Brian, stop this now. You know that's
Fred is
not
from
true.
Macclesfield.
Listen,
that's what it is.
But Danny makes a good point. It is fraud watch. But we should be. Let's have this quick debate. We'll do like 10 minutes on this, and we'll wrap up.
One second.
Are Liverpool the worst champions? What did you want to say, Prime?
What? The worst?
The worst champions.
No, let's see if we finish 10th. It's too early.
We have to wait
They
till the
are.
end of
They
the
are the
season
worst.
until we get a conclusion.
They are the
We need a
worst.
conclusion.
Wait, hold on.
No,
One
I
second.
don't need a conclusion. You're the worst.
Go on, Prime.
1 second. I was clicking on the wrong button for that. Never mind. Let's go.
How is that even up for debate? To be honest,
It's not
like
a
the
debate,
minute
mate.
they lost, the minute the minute they lost 7-2 to Aston Villa, you knew it was game over. Like, they've showed no enthusiasm.
I thought they were down a man. I wasn't even watching the game. I thought they were down a man.
No, they
They
weren't.
were down 11. They were down 11.
They were down a whole
down to
team.
11, yeah.
They were down a whole team.
I thought they were down a man.
Wait, hang on.
There's 11 people out there.
Let's Ram. Do you want to talk about the Chelsea drop off and kind of defend Liverpool?
Yeah, do it.
It's definitely. I'd say for now, if we're basing on if the season finished right now, I'd say it's one of the worst, but I wouldn't say it's the worst, because I still think the Chelsea team that dropped off after 2014-15 was absolutely disgraceful. Like, you guys were 16th at one point. You're fighting relegation. Let me repeat, relegation.
Okay, the reason why...
No, Prime.
We were never at that point.
Sorry,
That's one thing to say.
This Prime. Can I have this? Shall I tell you why we're not the worst? Those.
Wait, hold on, Andrew. Hold on, Andrew.
Oh, thank you. Those champions weren't gassed up to be the greatest Premier League champions of all time, like your
were.
was. No, they weren't.
Well, they were gassed one of the best.
They weren't, Ram.
I mean, Eden Hazard was touted as one of the best left wingers in the world that can rival Messi and Ronaldo, bro.
People, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. What's there arguing about?
Let Andrew finish.
From the middle of the summer, there was rumours Mourinho wasn't happy with the board, with the transfer targets, all going on. This happened all throughout the summer. This didn't happen with your mob. Everyone was fine. Everyone was gassed up. You got Thiago. You were going to win the league again with 95 points. I kept hearing you're the greatest champions of all time. No one's better than you. In that summer when we won a title, they weren't saying that about us. The clock already started ticking on Mourinho leaving. It was just a matter of when. No, when, not even if. We weren't gassed up to be the greatest Premier League team of all time. So the fact that you're I'm not saying you did, Ram or Sonny, but the fact that your high percentage of your fans did do that, I would destroy O'Shea with this as well. So, the fact that happened, it makes your team the worst Premier League defending champions of all time because the way you were gassed up. We weren't gassed up like that.
Andrew, on your point on how the Jurgen Klopp wasn't making a big deal, he did make a big deal. Like, we saw it in the press conference. He lost his head when people were talking about him leaving and the whole transfer business that they did. He lost his head. He was not happy with the dealings that the board and FSG were doing for him, and he was getting the blame for it. So that's completely not true.
Hold on. Also, let me go. Rounds, when you were trying to deny and saying Chelsea, our team was gassed, it wasn't, because that take the way sentiment out of it. That Mourinho team, when he came back and we won the league, it's not even one of Chelsea's greatest Premier League teams. So I don't get how
you
that
were
can
compared.
be one of the. Let me let me finish.
Don't shush me, bro.
Yeah, don't shush.
Then I'll remove you. Just let me finish. You can say that team is probably one of the best teams in the world, which, okay, whatever, and talk about Hazard and whatever. But no Chelsea fan has ever said that was the best team in Premier League history.
Yeah,
Liverpool fans said your team was the best team in Premier League history.
But is that what we're defining this as? Like, just because the fans hype their team up?
Let me.
It wasn't just the fans; it was the media as well.
It was the whole thing of your club is run so perfectly and so brilliantly. The fact of Klopp can be up there, one of the best with the messiahs in football, and he can, in the next few years, he can rival Fergie and everything. The fact of you have the best fullbacks in Premier League history, Van Dijk compared to Rio and John Terry and Campbell and Jaap Stam. The fact of Salah being compared to the likes of Ronaldo and Henry in the Premier League and stuff like that.
Van Dijk, the greatest defender of all time.
I'm pretty sure. Wait. Did a Chelsea fan also say that Salah was better than Henry recently?
The fact that Henderson was, people were saying he should be Player of the Year because based off sentiment, not based on any statistical or player value. Look, I actually personally rate Henderson, but the fact that they were saying he's Player of the Year based on sentiment, because there are stats I have to back up why Henderson can be nominated for Player of the Year, but none of those stats were mentioned for Henderson to be Player of the Year. It was only based on sentiment, and he's the captain, and it's your first title, and it was only done for that because Gerrard couldn't captain you guys to win a league. So for Henderson to stand in,
why is Gerrard involved with this?
Well, this was the actual reason. Anyway, it was just because everything was so perfect around your club, and apparently you're so dominant and fearful. Like when you guys played United twice, there were combined 11s, and no United player made the team, which is ridiculous because when United dominated, there were Liverpool players that still made that team
because we were still good then.
And
because we were still good when we dominated.
It doesn't matter because you were still finishing 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Yeah,
no, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true.
Let me finish. But okay, it is true. Anyway, my point is that is why you guys are statistically right now, points wise, you are worse than the Chelsea team. So you can end.
Let me
finish. You can end the season being the worst. But here's the thing: if you guys want to argue and say Chelsea's still bad, here's the thing: at least Chelsea the following season won the league. So if you don't win the league next season, then where's your argument?
There is that. Brian, you want to say something?
I was just saying that, like, I feel it's kind of harsh to call them to like say that they're the worst defending champion, because a lot of the circumstances that have led them to where they're at right now are beyond their control. It's not like they threw the league away. I mean, when you lose what a lot of people are calling the best center back in the world for like 3/4 of a season, you're gonna struggle. When you shift your captain to the back line and then he goes down, you're gonna struggle. When like Firmino has to go out of the team and they put Jota there, then he goes down, you're gonna struggle. I'm not making excuses for injuries, but I mean, go ahead. No, Prime. Unlike you with everybody else, I will let you interject and say your point. Go ahead.
Brian, here's the thing, though. With the defensive stuff with Van Dijk and apparently, if that's the excuse why they don't win the league, then that is fine. And maybe to not challenge, okay, maybe fine. But the fact is, they're not even in top 4.
They've had more than just that.
They're not confirmed.
But you forget, Joe Gomez got injured as well. Joel Matip got injured. Henderson's injured.
But the fact is,
Jota was injured. Thiago was injured. I could go on if you want.
All these names don't mean anything to me. The fact is, you're not even confirmed for top 4. Klopp is this amazing work. As soon as Van Dijk got injured, I said it doesn't matter. You guys should at least still be in there for challenging or finishing top 4. Because Klopp is this amazing world-class manager. You have this amazing world-class squad. This is a true test. Let's see what you can.
Prime. This is where
you should still be able to at least outscore teams.
Well,
this is where the hypotheticals come in. Hang on, Brian. Hang on.
To be fair, my time to talk got hijacked.
One at a time.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say that I even hate to do this as a United fan, but like the devil's advocate of that is you can say that about Liverpool if like the pressing and the ability to squeeze teams and win the ball back from their back line wasn't so vital to their system, then you might be able to say like you should be able to outscore teams like in that regard. Like they're not used to going through the things and going through the motions in games in the way that they have been when their whole back line was fit and when their midfield was intact. So like that will happen to any team. That will happen to any team on that level. Like at that level, if you lose not just that many players, but that amount of influence in key areas in your team, you're going to drop off. It's just inevitable. Like you're going to when you lose when you lose a hitman off the bench, when you lose your captain, when you lose the best center back on your team, when you lose your first choice goalkeeper and you have to play Adrian for 8 games.
It's not an excuse for me, Brian.
I'm not making an excuse, but I'm just saying like I understand to a degree.
Well, that's not an excuse. You're managing.
We had Michael Carrick in centre back and things like that. We won a title.
Yeah, but we've also had conversations before. That sometimes your manager can only manage what's in front of them, and if what is way below the surface for Liverpool Football Club isn't up to the level of quality that Klopp can get the best out of them at the standards that he wants, then you're going to drop points. And like that's a reality.
And Klopp is not as good as everyone thinks he is. Then
that's
players
untrue.
are not as good as everyone thinks he is.
That's untrue because
Why is that not true?
Because I think that if Pep lost John Stones and Laporte, he would struggle to keep people out, and we've seen he has. We've seen that he has.
Yeah, that's true.
We saw that last season with their defense.
Yeah, but nobody was talking about Pep in the way that they're talking about Klopp, though.
Yes,
nobody.
were.
No one was saying.
No, they weren't. No
one was turncoating. No one was turncoating Pep.
Last season, Liverpool fans were laughing and saying the injuries is not an excuse. Pep should still be challenging. And now this season, these injuries are being used as an excuse.
Yeah. Well, then maybe
last season with the loss of his mother.
Then maybe that we
Liverpool
should take
fans
that.
said that's not an excuse. So now at this season, when Klopp loses a family member, rest in peace. Why is that now as an excuse? All these excuses.
I don't remember any Liverpool fans saying that, bro.
I remember
Liverpool fans saying that.
From that too,
all these excuses this season.
Aside from that too, I don't think. But aside from that too, I don't think that that's a good argument. Like personally,
no.
I don't think it's a good argument. Like I think it's unfair. I think it's unfair to like the CV of Pep for people to rake him through the mud the way they did last season, and it's unfair to the CV of Klopp for people to treat him the way that they have this season. The reality of who Klopp is as a manager is that he's one of the best managers in world football today, and his team is decimated, and he's gone long periods of time without having his best players in vital places. He's missing a lot of key pieces. And like for Manchester United, dude, if Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford went down tomorrow, I wouldn't watch any more games because we would lose them all.
But
you know what I mean?
Your squad,
we will lose them all.
The rest of your squad is not on the level, and also you don't have a world-class manager. So of course you guys would fall away completely.
A manager can only do so much.
A manager can only do so much, though.
Again,
yeah, but it's partly his fault for flogging that team.
There is a flip side. Hang on a minute. There is a flip side to this, right?
Indiana, let me just say this.
No, hang on, no, because you've been speaking a lot, and I need to get around everyone. I need to get all the points in from everyone, right? So there is a flip side to this in that with Chelsea, it was Mourinho.
Yeah.
Like Mourinho, it's not as if like this is the first time he's won a title or anything like that. Mourinho should still be questioned about not defending the title the next season, right?
Yeah.
There's big questions there. So that's me personally, I would say that until the end of this season, we know where Liverpool are. Chelsea still hold the title. I think that's fair to say. Has to be.
On your
I
point,
agree
yeah,
with that.
we're dealing with hypotheticals, right?
What's that?
If we win our game tomorrow and Chelsea lose, we are 2 points behind them, and they're fourth.
And that's not something to celebrate.
No, but that's the point. The point, we're dealing in hypotheticals. You're saying that we should be challenging for top four. If we win tomorrow,
I agree with that. I agree with Prime on that.
Challenging again.
But that's not something to celebrate.
Actually, I disagree with that.
That's your point.
I disagree with that. I don't think you should be challenging. I don't think you should be challenging. I think you should be finishing in the top four at a minimum because of the stature of your club. As a minimum, you should be in fourth place.
That's
right. Minimum. As a minimum, not challenging and we just missed out. Like, no, you should be in it.
For sure.
You should be in it. And so to that degree, like, being 25 points off of City right now is awful. Is absolutely awful. But it's not going from first to 10th. So, in that regard, I do think that Chelsea team was still worse. But I think the Liverpool team has an opportunity to at least match them. So, like, I don't know. Like, for me, for me, like, Liverpool still has some time to catch themselves back up and actually sneak into the top four, but they've got to do a lot better. Like, you can't keep losing games. Like, I mean, like you look at the things that Liverpool have accomplished this season in the league, and it's been horrendous. Like losing 5 straight at Anfield for the first time since before World War II, something like that, or 6, and then losing
World
to
War
Everton World War One, even worse. And then like losing to Everton for the first time in over a decade in the league, like that's horrendous. You should always be better than them. I'm not, and I'm not discounting Carlo Ancelotti at all, but you should always be better than Everton. Always. And
this is true.
And it's at the point which you lost off of one of your best ever seasons. on the back of one of your best ever seasons, you lose to a team that you didn't even lose to when you were at your worst. So like there's a level there that you can look at that and be like, okay, like they're in a super sticky spot right now. But I still think that Chelsea team under Mourinho was worse than this Liverpool team right now.
Right now,
But
yeah.
My thought process is all that Chelsea team was in and around the relegation zone. Like they're around about 16.
I hear that, Ram. I do hear that. I think it's going to
horrendous, in my opinion.
It's going to come down to where you finish and what happens with Liverpool at the end of the season.
Yeah,
but goodness,
definitely.
Goodness, what's your opinion on this?
I think it depends on what stance you want to take. I think it's about whether you think league positions is the primary objective of what you consider a worse season. Which is what I think. I think if you're finishing 10th after winning the Premier League, that's shocking. The same way, obviously, with Liverpool, I get what you're saying. You can't use injuries as an excuse, but look, you've got to take a lot of context into the season as well, where this season's been weird for everyone. You know, there's no pre-seasons. There's been no sort of period where you can try new things. You've literally been thrown into the league, and and I guess obviously everyone suffered with that, which I understand. Obviously, it's all an even playing field, but ultimately for me, league position determines how good of a season you've had, regardless of anything. Because let's say, for example, if the champions have got 78 points and you're still finishing second, third, and fourth, that's just relative to the positionings that you're in. That's why I don't look at points as being a margin of success, because that just relatively depends on how hard or how easy the league that year has been. So saying that, I do think Liverpool's league position still holds that they're 7th, I think, or 8th, which is still better than being 10th, even if it is two positions. And to be fair to Liverpool, they can still climb that. They're not far off. If like they said, if they win, they're 2 points off top 4, which I highly doubt they're going to beat us. But that's, again, we'll see. Obviously, tomorrow's a formality. Well, today's a formality. Once after kickoff and full time, we would have won, which I am going to say. So the 2 point thing isn't going to really happen. But yeah, no, I think it's all about league positions. Therefore, if you're saying now, no. But if you're saying at the end of the season, they could be 10th. We don't know.
Fair enough. Sonny, do you want to speak on this, or have you had enough of this already? Sonny?
I think he's had enough.
He's gone to sleep. He's had enough. Gooner Express, what's your thoughts?
Well, yeah, exactly. It's league position. I've said it all season again with Arsenal, that, we can say we're improving, but we're still 9th, so it doesn't make a difference. So taking that into context with the league positions and where these champions finished, it's Chelsea. And Dizzy put it in the comments, Leicester's team's up there as well. And I know Leicester was a freak season, but they were champions. You have to put them in that bracket. And this Liverpool team, you can't use injuries and all this stuff as an excuse. But like Sul said, you take it into context. Did Chelsea have that many injuries? They had that many key injuries. And also I think you look at the January transfer window that Liverpool had, they spent barely any money to fix the problems. Chelsea had the money because Chelsea fans said it. They said it earlier in the stream that, their problems are less than everybody else's. They didn't fix the issues and they still finished 10th when they had the ability to fix the issues. So that Chelsea team has no excuse, whereas Liverpool fans, they're still not excuses, but they're better excuses than what Chelsea had. So for me, it's Chelsea. And if Liverpool if they finish 11th, 12th, then of course they're there. But I see them doing a bit of like this at the end in the last few games. I think they're going to get better. Not league like title, challenging better, but maybe 6th, 5th, because they're going to get some injured players back. Obviously, the players are going to want to get in the Euro squads, so they're going to have to play better. And Klopp's going to have a lot on his shoulders, so he's going to need to do better in this last couple of games. So I think they're going to finish 5th or 6th. I've said it for a while, so see what happens.
Okay, fair enough. Sonny, do you want to speak on this?
I'd rather not, but
no, I'm saying you need to speak. I need to hear your opinion.
I can't even be asked to judge it yet because we could still win the Champions League. Like, as weird as that sounds, we can actually do that. We might even finish in the top 4. It's unlikely, but we're still there and thereabouts. But this season,
Sonny, if you win the Champions League and finish top 4, I will put you up there. I will really put you up there.
Yeah, right, and
from this
rightly
position,
so.
Definitely,
and rightly so. But because this season, it's been from the first half of the season, we're very good where we're top of the league. Second half of the season up till now, very bad. So we might just do what we've done at the start of the season and start winning again, because we don't know. Players are coming back and it's looking more positive. So I don't want to judge it yet, but we're not the worst Premier League champions. The season's not even done, so it's impossible.
We're dealing with hypotheticals.
Not yet.
We're dealing with hypotheticals, so we can't judge just yet.
Yes. No, it's very true. It's very true. It's too soon to call where Liverpool are going to finish. We don't know. Man United could drop off and fall out the top four. You could have Chelsea go on a bad run and West Ham
but it's true. It's true though. Yeah, West Ham are going to drop off. Everton will drop off. Like these teams that shouldn't be there anyway will drop off because
it's just been that kind of season, isn't it?
We've got to rely on a lot of teams though.
A lot of teams.
No, well, yeah, you have.
You have.
Look at the teams that are up there. Yeah, United, they're struggling right now, and they've got the Europa League that they're going to want to try and win. Chelsea are going to focus on the Champions League, and then West Ham, they're already dropping off, and Everton, I just see them dropping off as well. So for Liverpool especially, it's doable if they put the effort and the confidence. They get that confidence in there. But again, can Klopp find that? And that's the question.
Yeah.
I agree. I really do agree. Listen, we're going to wrap up because we've been going for 2 hours and 10 minutes, and that's long enough for anybody. Please like the stream, subscribe to the channel. Most of the people you see on there have either been on there before or will be on there again. If you can read their Twitters, go follow them. Please follow their socials. Most people have got.
Yeah, read my stuff right there.
Oh, Indiana's. He's probably his phone died or something, but I'll end it anyway.
I don't think it did.
It's funny how you know.
I didn't, because I can see the background. I didn't kick him out. But anyway, he's back here now. Actually, but yeah. He's back. Thank you for watching the stream. 2 hours, 11 minutes, long one. Apologies. And
you're not very good at this, Prime.
I mean, your club is not good at retaining the title, but we agree. All right.
Yours ain't either.